Hello, everybody. What is going on? Episode number 24 of Stats Over Politics. As always, I'm your host, Shaun Holko. Can I even say my own name right? I'm your host, Shaun Holko, alongside my guys, Kevin Dent, Jaevon Toddy. Garry Singh will be arriving soon, as he's just now getting off work. He will be here soon. Joining us today is a man who knows a lot about college basketball because he won our inaugural Stats Over Politics March Madness Bracket Challenge, none other than Emiliano Lara. How are we doing, Emiliano?
What's going on, Shaun? What's going on, guys? Definitely excited to be here. I appreciate it. I won't claim to know a lot. I think March Madness, when you win a bracket challenge, it's a lot about luck. It's March Madness for a reason, so definitely got a little lucky.
I don't.
Very humble and confident.
I know, right? If it was any of us, if it was any of us, we would be chest puffed out, like, yeah, I am the college basketball man.
Yeah, no, I would have went on here with nuts. Y'all see how I do when the Eagles win a game. Don't let me win a challenge.
I mean, to be fair, not as many people participated in our women's March Madness challenge. However, I was at the top of that. And to be fair, I joined another women's March Madness challenge with like 30 people. I won that shit. So, I mean, women's college basketball is my shit. What's going on, Jaevon? We haven't heard from you yet.
You lost a bet.
I did lose a bet. So Emiliano, just so you know, I am also very much a homer, Emiliano. When Sac State women's basketball made it to March Madness for the first time ever, and they played UCLA, I wasn't going to go as far. I mean, even though I did in my bracket, I did pick Sac State to upset UCLA in my bracket. I was wrong, but I was so confident in Sac State and Mark Campbell's program that I said on this podcast that they would not lose by more than 20 points. Jaevon said, I will take that bet, and they ultimately lost by 22 points, and I lost my $20. That was a bad beat. It was a bad beat, but you win some, you lose some. And Jaevon, I mean, over the years, we've had our fair share of bets go between us.
Yeah, speaking of bets, we won some money this weekend, boys. Shout out to Israel Adesanya. Let's just all give him a round of applause, man. That man,
Style Bender is back.
Style Bender, man. You should have saw me. I lost my mind at Sophia's auntie's house. It was insane. We had some other things. We sprinkled some XFL this weekend. Little baseball action was on there too.
Cannot believe that you're betting on that. I can't. He used to ask me for baseball advice, and I get it wrong all the time.
We sprinkled some baseball and some XFL this weekend. It was the craziest thing I've ever done in my life, and it worked out in our favor. So I might need to start giving out picks, guys. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
Toddy's picks.
The
segment's coming soon. I mean,
segment might be coming soon. They might need some playoff.
We need a couple weeks of proof, though.
Hey,
yeah,
they just come on here 0-0.
We went back to back. We went back to back days. So that's all I'm saying. We went back to back on them. So
I mean, that's pretty good. Congratulations, and I think I'm about to put some money down as well coming up pretty soon. Emiliano might as well, based on what we were talking about before we all joined here. And
it's got a wrestling parlay.
Oh no! You actually can bet on wrestling nowadays, but I'm not.
I couldn't.
I know
man.
it is
something that's rigged. It's something to bet on something that's rigged. I couldn't do it.
Make a lot of money.
You could. I mean, but to be honest, I thought Cody Rhodes was going to win at WrestleMania, and he didn't. But let's move on because I could get off on a tangent. But anyways, I might be putting some money down on the Sacramento Kings, who are matched up with the Golden State Warriors, the reigning NBA champions. The Kings are the 3 seed. They will be playing the 6 seed Warriors.
Be careful what
Jaevon, I am done with Bovada. I'm done with Bovada. I don't mess with it no more.
It's okay.
But my brother, he has a friend who lives up in Tahoe. He could go to a casino up in Tahoe.
Shaun got
I think I'm gonna put $100 down on the Kings because that plus 215 line is looking mighty fine
to win.
Plus 215. I mean, they are the defending champions.
Wait, game
but
one
plus
or the
2
series?
The series.
Oh, I don't know about
Yeah.
that.
Trap. Emiliano, you were shaking your head. It looked like in agreement with me. What do you think about that line of plus 215, the Kings as the underdog?
I would have expected it to be a little higher. I don't think that anyone, if you listen around, ESPN, Fox Sports, really no one's given us a chance.
Nobody.
when I look at I'll call it a bracket of the NBA,
It's neck and neck. Game one's neck and neck.
I don't see a lot of opportunities for sweeps, but it feels like everyone thinks the Warriors are going to sweep the Kings. So
sweep? Hell no.
Yeah, I was exploring on Twitter today, and I'll keep this brief because we got a lot of games to get to with this NBA playoff preview here on episode number 24 of Stats Over Politics. But I was cruising on Twitter earlier, and I was looking at some of the Bay Area pages, like 95.7 The Game, the radio station they have out there. They were tweeting about their series, and they were like, all right, who wins the series and in how many games? There was so many Warriors fans saying sweep. I was like, oh my God. Like, the narrative, like, Kevin, what do you think about this narrative with the Sacramento Kings? Because it's like, there was like a nice week after the 60-game mark. There was like a nice week where everyone showed the Kings some respect. Stephen A even talked about him on First Take. It was amazing. And then the narrative and the Brian Windhorst of the world, the narrative switched to everybody wants the Kings. Everybody's positioning themselves for the 6th spot to play the Kings. And now the Kings have gone back to being the jokes of the NBA. What do you think of that narrative, Kevin?
The disrespect is crazy. Like, I understand they won it last year and they have this pedigree, but that team from 4 or 5 years ago isn't coming through that tunnel. So it's going to be Imano, and I'm not going to get too deep into my predictions, but I think people are going to be very, very shocked with what the Kings put out in the playoffs.
What do you think, Jaevon? I mean, you're the only non-Kings fan on the channel.
Hey, man, I'm a betting man, so I'm logic. I'm all logic. Stats over politics. I mean, that's what they call the show.
I mean,
now, the
Warriors is the name.
Warriors are not particularly good on the road. But it was like, oh, it's the playoffs, guys. They're going to ramp up, and it's the play. It's going to change overnight because Andrew Wiggins is back, and he hasn't played in God knows how long. So, hey, man, it's minus 115. Basically the game is neck and neck for you guys. So, I mean, I might sprinkle you guys. Game one, just because it's the first game. Shaun is going, by the way. Let you guys know he will be in the building.
Thanks for putting my business out there. I appreciate you.
He will be in the building. But however, the Sacramento Kings first game in 16 years on ABC 5:30 prime time. Hey, man.
And we got our own announcer on the national broadcast because obviously he works for ESPN, but that's our announcer.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's match made in heaven, right? You get to play, your division rival, Steph Curry, the defending champs. You guys get the defending champs in the first round.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, and it's going to be interesting.
It's probably going to be the most intriguing series for the first round, as far as that.
Before we move on, do you guys think they drive or do they fly back and forth?
Oh, they definitely fly, without a doubt.
You think so for 20 minutes?
Yeah. Why would you if you had $1 billion owner with a jet?
Just wasting money.
Yeah, and they're also hurting our earth when it comes to fossil fuels.
That's what I'm saying.
You
would think they could just drive.
They're getting that playoff money. They're getting them playoff tickets, everything. All the prices go up for playoffs. So
I couldn't even tell you how quick of a flight that would be.
10 minutes.
Kevin, if you put yourself in their shoes, if you could fly for 20 minutes versus sitting in a car in traffic for 2 to maybe 3 hours, depending on what time of the day.
Yeah, they blocking all that.
Okay.
No traffic. They jump on the shoulder.
Like the Red Sea.
All right, so let's say 30-minute flight versus an hour and a half in a car, even with a police escort. I'm taking a 30-minute flight personally.
Shit, she's gonna be there for 4 or 5 days, taking a little trip.
Yeah, I don't know. If I had to guess, I'd say they're driving.
I mean, it just makes sense.
The families
would have the money, but
Steph probably got his own jet.
The players got to cater it if they want to fly.
On his own jet. Like, what are we talking about here?
He's got the Under Armour jet.
Yeah, he got a lifetime.
Emiliano, you just read my mind. I was about to say the exact same thing. So we will get to the Kings and Warriors series, and we're going to dive into it completely and give all our takes for that. But before we get to that, gentlemen, we got to get to the play-in games. Jaevon was saying, play-in? Yeah, we got to get to the play-in. And so luckily, the Sacramento Kings are not in the play-in games, which we kind of all anticipated they might be. Luckily, the Kings, they locked up a top 3 seed. So our play-in matchups that we have on the Eastern Conference to start things out, as I keep clicking on the wrong tab, is number 10 Chicago Bulls versus the number 9 seed Toronto Raptors. And then we got the 8 seed Hawks versus the 7 seed Heat. And then on the Western Conference side, we got 10 seed Thunder versus the 9 seed New Orleans Pelicans and the dysfunctional number 8 seed Minnesota Timberwolves. We'll get to that in a bit versus the number 7 seed Los Angeles Lakers. And King James wanted to remind you that he got his team to the 7th seed. Crown him. Please crown him because he got his team to the 7th seed.
Disrespect will not be tolerated.
He's
have to make that known. The disrespect will not be tolerated.
Check it real quick.
I was waiting. I saw the look in Kevin's eyes right when I started talking about him, and I knew he had something to say. But I mean, come on, Kevin. They're the 7th seed. Oh, congratulations! Yeah. They were asking
the
LeBron
season. Then
that's congrats.
Kevin.
I mean, yeah. Okay. All right. I'm gonna put my personal bias aside. So, anyways. Let's get to the first matchup, and that is the Chicago Bulls versus the Toronto Raptors. This game will take place in Toronto, and it's going to take place on a Wednesday night. And so I was just wondering, we'll kick things off with our special guest, Emiliano, who is joining us because he is the brilliant basketball mind that he is. I was just wondering.
I don't know.
Okay, sorry, college basketball mind. But I was just wondering, we got the 10 seed Bulls who, in my opinion, they look on paper. I mean, even without Lonzo Ball, to me, the Bulls look like the better team. But then you have the Raptors who are typically dominant on their home court. Where are you leaning here in this game, Emiliano?
I mean, I lean towards Raptors because of the home court advantage for sure. I think, the play-in is just like a game 7, right? Like it's win or go home. And I think that it's specifically in the NBA, more than baseball, it's, more than hockey. Game 7 is who has the better player, the better dominant player. And I just think on paper, the Bulls have the better set of players. And so I would be betting on the Bulls if I could.
Here we go.
Okay. All right. So Emiliano is going to go with the Bulls. Jaevon, where are you going?
Hey, man. They got Chicago as a plus 180 dog, man. I don't see it. I mean, the Raptors all year have been a very up and down team. I believe since January, the Bulls have been one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. Emiliano kind of stated it the best. When it comes to playoff basketball and kind of game 7 vibes, the game slows down, and it kind of just goes by who has the better set of players. And I could for sure.
Someone has some loud street noise. Who's that?
Man, who's outside of a street race?
I think it's my house. Hold on, bro.
Ah, damn it, Garry. Garry in Elk Grove. Garry has arrived, and he's immediately making unnecessary noise. Go ahead, Jaevon.
Why is Shaun giving my drop?
I just think that Toronto all year has just been a very inconsistent team. And we've already heard, like, the Rockets just fired their coach, and the Raptors head coach, Nick Nurse, is one of the candidates for the Rockets head coach position. Like, what are we talking about here? I just think Chicago has kind of just been trending at the right times. DeMar DeRozan is one of the more clutch players one of the best clutch players in the league, and I think it's going to come down. It's going to get tight. But I think I love Chicago in this game. I would definitely lay the plus 180 for all the betting people out there. If you want some good value, I would definitely take Chicago money line in this game. I just think they've been playing great this past just last stretch, even in past All-Star breaks. So I'm definitely going with Chicago in this game.
All right, Garry, you have street racing, Fast and Furious outside of your house, but you have now arrived. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you coming right from work. Where are you leaning in this play-in game? We got 10 seed Chicago at 9 seed Toronto.
I got Toronto winning this game. I got Toronto winning this game. I like what the Bulls have been doing, like Von saying. The Bulls have been kind of get together. They've been getting a lot of chemistry down, but I'm going to take what I've seen from Toronto earlier this year, and I'm going to say they're going to do pretty good just because of their culture and just what they've been putting together with Siakam. And they're young guy. They got a lot of wing defenders, so I feel like they match up pretty well versus the Bulls. And this is a one-game thing, so obviously I would say if it was a series, I would take the Bulls just because I feel like DeMar DeRozan would be able to take over a playoff series with Zach LaVine. But for this one-game sample size, I think I'm going to take Toronto with the upset.
All right, so far we got 2 for the Bulls, 1 for Toronto. Where are you leaning on this one, Kevin?
I agree with Garry 100%. I'm happy someone finally now acknowledged the wing defenders. Everyone talked about OG at the trade deadline. 3 first-round picks. He was all this and all that. And once the trade deadline, everyone stopped kind of talking about him. But Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, I think the Raptors just have too much for the Bulls. They've been playing, real hit or miss. And I think OG and Scotty are going to be able to, mess with Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. And it's one game off. So I definitely am going to go with the Raptors in this one.
All right, so now we got a tie. We have an odd number this week, so I guess I get to break the tie. I will not be the last person to give my pick every time, so it's not like, oh, what a Shaun thing. I'm actually going to go with the Bulls. I'm going to go with the Bulls to pull off the upset. And the reason why is because let's not forget that the Bulls have 3 former All-Stars on their team. Like, I know that's just a title, but are we just forgetting about Nikola Vucevic? Like, everyone wants to mention Zach LaVine. Everyone wants to mention DeMar DeRozan, the king of the mid-range. And also, the Bulls are really missing Lonzo Ball, like big time. That injury, it's tough.
That'll change my decision.
Don't disrespect Kobe White.
UNC grad Kobe White. That's why Jaevon had to get that in there.
Don't disrespect
Anyways, the reason why I'm going to go with the Bulls in this one is because I truly think that Vucevic is going to be that X factor. Because, the Raptors, they did reacquire Jakob Poeltl this season. And Jakob Poeltl is a really nice defensive stopper. But to me, I feel like when Vucevic is going to get going early in this game, that's where DeMar is going to come in. And then he's just going to hit like 4 mid-range shots in a row. Then Zach LaVine will get going. I just feel like the Bulls have more star power. And even though the Raptors are on their home court, and that is a real home court advantage in Toronto, I'm going with the upset because like someone said earlier, like this is like a game 7, especially for these 9-10 teams where this is it for them. They don't get a chance to redo it in a second game. And for that reason, I'm siding with Chicago. So we got 3-2 Chicago. We shall see who ends up prevailing. Go ahead, Garry.
If Chicago loses, like you guys are saying, they're about to blow this thing up. So to be honest, they shouldn't lose this right here because it's about to be a big impact on their future right here. I think that's going to decide if DeMar, LaVine, Vucevic, if these guys want to stay with this team. So I feel this is about to be a huge game for these guys. I know Toronto, they've been kind of thinking about blowing it up, but at least they got some young guys where they could still kind of, push it forward right now. These guys got a lot of middle-aged guys. So if this way more pressure and way more things riding right now for the Bulls.
All right, so now sticking in the Eastern Conference, we have the 8-7 matchup, and that is the 8 seed Atlanta Hawks playing against their division foe in the number 7 seed Miami Heat. Once again, we're going to kick things off with our special guest, Emiliano. Emiliano, I'm putting you on the spot again. Where are we leaning in this matchup between the Hawks at the Heat?
I'll continue to use the same philosophy, at least here in the East. I think the West is a little bit of a different ball game, a different set of teams, different set of circumstances all around. But I know Trae Young is a guy that everybody gets excited about, and
Jaevon especially. Jaevon loves him so much.
He has his moments. I came across a story recently that there's a green light to accept trade conversations for Trae Young,
which is insane.
And I just think that the last few years, the Atlanta Hawks has just been kind of surrounded by questions and, controversy on the floor, Trae Young's attitude. There's just all kinds of things that have always kind of been floating around this high potential team. And at the end of the day, I think if Jimmy Butler steps onto the floor in the playoffs and, in a playoff atmosphere, at least in the play-in, and wants to win this game, the Heat are going to win this game. I not much separates this team. You look across the stats, which is a lot of what I have to go off of. Not much separates this team, but I just don't think it's in the cards for the Hawks this year. I think the Heat is, once again, the Miami Heat are going to be one of those teams. They're going to come out of the play-in, and teams better watch out.
Okay, Jaevon, I want to hear from you next. Kevin, you're muted, so we couldn't hear you there. But go ahead, Kevin. What did you have to say right there?
I was saying the Celtics better be worried.
Okay. Jaevon, I want to hear from you next on this because you are one of the biggest Trae Young fans that I know. I lost money to you because of Trae Young. I also took it back, but we'll just leave that part alone. Tell Emiliano why he's wrong, because I feel like you're going to side with the Hawks on this one.
Well, I am a gambling man, as you guys.
Yeah, that's well documented.
I like the Heat in this game. I really do. I saw what the Miami Heat did to Trae Young last year in a 5-game series that kind of just made Trae Young disappear off of the floor. They kind of just boxed and won him and kind of just made him, hey, we're gonna shout at you all over the court. This playoff basketball, we understand what you're capable of. As I already mentioned, he averages 27 and 10. Emiliano made a great point that I think it was Shams that came out with the tweet saying that things have been floating around and they're looking to probably move on from him. Quinn Snyder has kind of been using him in a different light. Trae Young's used to having I think he's at the top as far as usage rate goes when he usually has the ball the most. He's been playing a little bit more off ball now that Quinn Snyder has kind of been in control. Him having a DeJounte Murray on his team, he can kind of be able to run around the floor. But Trae Young's not really used to not having the ball in his hands, if that really makes sense. So it's been kind of a weird dynamic of trying for Quinn Snyder to try and add his system right now versus going into next season and being able to implement everything. But as far as we all know that there's two Jimmy Butlers. There's regular season Jimmy Butler, and then there's playoff Jimmy. And this is a guy who can go for 40 in the finals. We've seen him. Everyone knows the picture of him where he looks like he's freaking dying, and he's like in the bubble. So we kind of already know what to expect from Jimmy Butler. Spo, I think, has the coaching advantage. I love Bam Adebayo and his presence. I think that I don't know if Kyle Lowry is still hurt, but I would imagine he probably plays in this game. I just think that what they're going to do to Trae Young is they're probably going to box and win him again and try to make somebody else beat you. Now they do have a DeJounte Murray. They did not have him last year, so it might the style of play might be a little bit different. But I think the Heat and their defense is kind of what they're known for a little bit. I think they're going to try and make someone else beat them that's not Trae Young. So I'm rocking with Miami in this game. If it was a 7-game series, we might be talking about something different, but I love Miami in this one game.
All right, Gary, where are you leaning on this one?
Man, I'm not going to lie. I do like the Hawks team, even though I just like the people on the team, the players on the team. You know what I'm saying? Like they all got some good personalities, things.
Yeah, you would know.
Yeah, I like DeJounte Murray. I love his game. He's a slasher. I don't know about Emiliano. I've heard those articles. I've seen those articles as well. Read those articles. I don't know. Maybe Atlanta feels differently. To me, he seems like he always, since day one, has been taking the whole blame of ATL, and he's taking their whole bag literally because everyone's been looking at that Luka Doncic trade from the draft, and you can look back at it. Obviously he's not good as Luka, but he held his own on that. Both exactly. Simple. They'll hold their own out of the bargain so far. So I'm a little split in the middle. Vaughn did just kind of remind me of the playoff series that I did forget about last year. Now I remember vividly how basically Trae was locked down. Yeah, basically on lockdown. And they only added Javonte Murray, who's going to be able to help him out. Is he going to be enough to really stop the defense and carry the team to a win? It's going to be pretty tough for me. So I'm going to take Miami in this one. I don't think I'm taking anything past this, though, because their offense is complete shit to me. But I'm going to take them in this game right here, this 1-game series. And, Jimmy Butler's going to have a Jimmy Butler performance. And who doesn't like Jimmy, man? How can you not like Jimmy? Bam and the whole Heat culture and things of that nature. I feel like they're going to do good here. You even see Tyler Hero maybe throw a 20-piece, 25-piece in there because he's capable of that too. Young, talented man he is. I wish they were playing their 3-point shooter they played last year. And Duncan Robinson, but I guess they
great podcast.
Yeah, exactly, great podcast, and he knows that too. So I don't know. It's kind of weird with that situation going on, but I'm gonna take the Heat in this one, guys. I'm gonna take the Heat in this one.
All right, Kevin. So far, it's unanimous. Are you keeping it rolling for the Heat?
Oh yeah, baby, playoff Jimmy. Everyone said it pretty well stated, man. Playoff Jimmy, we all know what to expect. We've seen him since the Sixer days. When the playoffs, when that light flicks in Jimmy's head, it's a whole different Jimmy. So
the Bulls days.
I'm taking the Heat.
Oh, this isn't fun. Well, I mean, to be honest, I was honestly thinking of rolling with the Heat on this one, but since Garry already gave his pick, I'll be the devil's advocate this time. I mean, Jaevon, I'm disappointed. I really thought that you were going to be the person to pick the Hawks in this one because, like, have we forgot that Trae Young averages 25.6 points, 8.7 assists, and 3.3 rebounds in the playoffs? He has played in 21 playoff games in his career, and he puts up those numbers. Yes. I'm going to just throw it out there. I'm saying Trae Young puts up a 40-piece, and the Hawks pull off the upset.
If they were playing anybody else, this is playoff basketball. I saw what they did to Trae. I picked the Hawks last year against Miami. Miami was a #1 seed last year, and I saw what they did to Trae Young. They put him in a box, literally put him in a box, and said, "Somebody else beat John Collins. Let John Collins go for 50. Okay, he's not going to be able to do that. Make DeAndre Hunter go for 50. Somebody else has to be. It's not going to be Trae Young." And I saw that, and I'm scarred because we lost money from doing that. So like I said, I am a gambling man. I'm not betting with my heart. I'm betting with stats over politics here. You gotta mix it in a little bit there. So what I'm saying is, if this were the Raptors, if this were or whoever, when they were playing Chicago, I would be more inclined to take an Atlanta Hawks because Trae Young wouldn't be going up against Eric Spoelstra in that defensive system that he has put in place. You could arguably say that Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo are two all defensive teams, and they're on the same team, and they're probably like I said, they're going to implement that system on Trae Young and figure out they're going to box and one him, say somebody else beat me on this team. It's not going to be Trae Young because yes, like you said, Trae Young has the capability of going for 50, 40. Whatever. We've seen it happen in the playoffs with Eastern Conference Finals. We've seen it all with what he's able to do. But last year is what I'm pretty much scarred from. And that's burned into my memory. Like, hey, they put Trae Young in a box. And he's one of my favorite players. He's a guy that averages 27 and 10. So
Vaughn is scarred from his money loss. That's why.
So I'm just going off of what I've seen in the past. And hey, this Miami Heat team is not what they were last year. Obviously, they kind of took they're kind of like they're 7th seed right now. So it's kind of just like I'm going based off what I've seen already, and I think Miami Heat won this game. Trae Young still might go crazy though. But it might be if he does.
In a loss,
it would probably be a volume shoot type game. Like he probably would have 35 off of like 29 shots, something like that.
Probably 35 off of 35 shots. Yeah. Well, okay. So guys, if all of you are correct and that I'm wrong, that would mean that the Hawks would have to play in the next play-in game because as we noted, 9-10, do or die. 7-8, you get another shot. So because the number 8 seed Eastern Conference play-in game all depends on the outcome of the first 2 games, we don't know what the matchups will be. But according to my picks, it would be the Chicago Bulls versus the Miami Heat because I have the Bulls winning. I have the Heat losing. In a hypothetical Bulls versus Heat matchup, I'm going to go with the Miami Heat in that one because I just think that Miami, if they actually got upset on their home floor by the Hawks, that I think that they would just be pissed off. And then that's when we would truly see Jimmy Butler like going nonstop, all gas, no brakes. And then he would will them into the first round if that were to happen. And so in a hypothetical Eastern Conference play-in game for the 8th seed, I'm going to side with the Miami Heat to get that 8th seed. So I have the Hawks getting the 7th seed and the Miami Heat getting the 8th seed. That's where I am leaning. Garry, I'm going to go to you next on this one. So you picked the Raptors and then you also picked the Heat, which means that you would have the Raptors versus the Hawks. That would be in Atlanta. So in that hypothetical matchup, who are you going with, Garry? The Raptors or the Hawks?
The Raptors or the Hawks? Yeah, I hadn't even thought about it yet. That's what I'm thinking right now, guys. Hold on, let me think.
Okay, we'll come back. We'll come back to you. So, Kevin, you would have that same matchup if you're ready to make your pick. You would have that same matchup in a hypothetical 8-seed play-in game where you would have the Raptors playing the Hawks. That game would be in Atlanta. Which way are you leaning in that hypothetical game of Raptors at Hawks, Kevin?
I think Kevin picked Miami, if I'm not mistaken.
The notepad says
no. I picked. They lost. I picked
Toronto.
Miami. So the Bulls would lose. Yeah, I thought the same thing too, Toddy. Yeah. It sounded,
This play-in is weird. I know. I've actually gotten used to it now after explaining it like 3 years in a row, but it's weird. So in that hypothetical matchup, who are you leaning with, Kevin?
I got to go Bulls, man. I really have no faith in the Hawks. So if I have to put money down, I'm taking whoever is on the opposing side.
Well, Toddy just led you astray because according to the notepad, you actually did pick the Raptors to win that 9-10 matchup. So it'd be Raptors-Hawks for you, unless I got that wrong.
Wouldn't they, since the Bulls lose, wouldn't they then play the?
No, the Bulls are in the 10-9 matchup, so they're done.
Okay.
Do or die, they're done. This fucking playing. Okay.
So it'd be Raptors.
If you lose the 7-8,
Hawks.
you still got a chance to play whoever won the 9-10, basically.
So it's Raptors-Hawks.
Yes, and if you are picking the Raptors to win against the Bulls, then it'd be Raptors versus Hawks if you have the Heat winning as well. It's funky. It's funky.
I'm taking the Raptors.
All right, and Garry, you would have that same matchup as well. So would you go with the Raptors or the Hawks?
I got the Hawks. I'm going to take the star power on this one. I think Trae, if they lose one game, they can get it back in the second one. I think Pascal Siakam, I do believe they do have a deeper team, and I believe they have the length to beat this team. And I like the guards, like we already said earlier, what Kev was saying too with me. Look, they got the good power forwards and forward matchups with the wings on their team. But I'm going to take the superstars in this one. And I think Trae Young will rise to the occasion and at least get that one, and it won't. And their defense, Toronto Raptors, are as good as obviously the Miami Heat. So I think I'll take the Atlanta Hawks in the AFC.
Okay, Jaevon, you would have the Bulls versus the Hawks. So are you really picking? Oh, no, he's already shivering. I was about to say, are you really going to pick your favorite player to lose twice? Well, no, apparently not.
Trae ain't missing the playoffs. That's all I got to say. He's going for 50 in the play-in. There's no way he's losing 2 games in a row.
In the first play-in game. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's going for 50. This ain't Miami. That matchup it'd be crazy. It'd be a lot of the Hawks play 0 defense. It's crazy. I watched, I think it was last week when they played against the Mavs. Kyrie went for 40, and the game went all the way down to the wire, double overtime. JaVale misses like a free throw or something like that. It was like 140 to like 140 something. It's gonna be something like that. You could book that if I was a betting man. I'd put. I
thought you were a betting man.
Yeah. If I were listening to this podcast and I was a gambling man, I would put money on that game for Trae Young to have 30 plus. So that was just I'm not giving advice. I'm just on here talking on a podcast. Stats over politics. I'm not an advisor. I'm just a guy over here just saying words. But
you're just a guy. You're just a guy until you get your own betting segment, and then it's Toddy's picks every week, and then you're on the spot.
It's over with after that.
Without a doubt. Okay, so Emiliano, thank you for waiting. So you would have the Bulls versus the Hawks in your hypothetical matchup. Who are you rocking with in that one?
Man, I don't know. I think it's closer than it's closer than it would seem, and I would honestly lean towards the Bulls. I really think that this is the nail often for this Trae Young Atlanta Hawks.
He said he's out of there.
Relationship. Yeah, I really do. I really think that we start the next season with Trae Young on a different team. I mean, Bogdanovich is in the 6th man of the year conversation. He's at least on the list, right? The Hawks have great pieces. I just really think that this is it. I think that this is the last time, that we put it all on Trae Young's shoulders. I mean, a fan of Trae Young yourself, right? And all we keep talking about is Trae Young's just going to carry the Hawks, and I think this is the last year that we're going to be able to say that because it hasn't happened yet. So I don't see it happening this year. So I'm
okay.
Going
well, okay, Jaevon, I know you have a rebuttal. Go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna put him on the spot. Well, first off, he has carried this team before to a Eastern Conference championship.
Eastern.
I will say that, but I wanted to ask Emiliano if Trae Young does get traded. I wanted to know, give me a team where you think he might be sniffing around. Who would want this guy that averages 27 and 10? I mean, who could possibly want an All NBA player on their team?
I mean, who wouldn't, right? I mean, honestly, what jumps out to me right away is who does LeBron miss the most? A ball-dominant point guard that could score as many points as him and can dish the ball.
AD has to be in that trade.
Our worst nightmare is that Trae Young gets traded to the Lakers in the offseason.
Oh, man.
And we walk into next season with a Trae Young, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis trio in Los Angeles. That's our worst nightmare.
Oh.
And as Kings fans, the Lakers tend to get what they want in our universe. So as much as I don't want to see it happen, I think if I had to say which team would be most likely right now, I'd say the Lakers would be in the sweepstakes for Trae Young.
All right.
Well, there's one. Oh,
that was the first one. I mean, he didn't. You didn't fall out. He didn't fall out. It was a refresh. It was a refresh.
I got a suggestion though, Toddy. I got two teams for you.
Before we get to your suggestion, real quick, Kev.
Oh,
AD has to be in that trade. There's no way Trae Young, LeBron,
Yeah.
unless they
Lakers don't got the tools.
Unless they send D'Angelo Russell.
D'Lo, no, I think D'Lo's on expiring. D'Lo,
Yeah, you have to sign him and then trade him.
You'd have to sign and trade him.
That's probably true.
I think Anthony Davis would have to be in that trade. They would probably have to trade Austin Reeves, a bunch of bench guys like Malik Beasley, and probably a pick.
They are not doing that for Trae Young.
What if? Okay.
I know where you go. What you asking me here, Shaun?
What if to get Trae Young they had to trade LeBron instead of Anthony Davis? That would be
leaving Shaun.
LeBron says no, thank you.
I mean, I'm just
He's a
saying.
billionaire, Shaun.
I'm just saying.
This is the second time I think Shaun tried to trade LeBron.
I don't know about that, but I mean, I think Jeannie Buss. I mean, she's like, I am the owner of this team. Like you, I mean, you're a player at the end of the day, and I love LeBron.
Just scored 38 last night. Come on now.
Clutch runs.
Go ahead, Emiliano.
I don't know. I think the Lakers organization is built on star power, and I don't care who wins MVP.
Yeah.
I don't care who you think the best player in the league might be. I don't care who wins the finals. The biggest star, the biggest face, the biggest player in our league still is LeBron James. Hands down. Every single GM would do whatever they could to still go and get 38-year-old LeBron James.
No, I don't believe that, Amelia. I agree with you. You're talking to a LeBron fan right here.
I think there's 4 or 5 players total on a do not trade list, and outside of that, I think every GM in the league would do whatever it took to get LeBron James on their team.
Who are those players?
Oh, I don't know.
Giannis,
I don't think every
Jokic,
GM would.
Embiid, Luka,
Luka.
maybe a handful of others.
Yeah. Okay. Kev, you said you know where he's going.
Hey man, could you imagine a world with Trae Young on the Nuggets?
How? Oh,
if they don't do it this year, they trade Jamal. Michael,
I like Jamal.
Reunite Michael Porter and Trae Young. The AAU circuit highlights. Oh, dog. What?
MPJ's probably in that trade, Kev. I'm not gonna lie.
You don't think they want Jamal?
They want Jamal and MPJ.
You think so?
It's gonna be a hefty price for Trae.
The way that money goes, yeah. Because Trae,
it's either
eligible for a supermax.
It would have to be. I think for that to work, it would either have to be both of them or one of them and hella picks.
Hella picks, yeah, and they have the picks.
So I would keep MPJ.
Just for the record, I don't think Trae's leaving. Just to put my thing out there, I don't think Trae's leaving.
I will say this just to close out this little part of it is, Kevin, I think that is a great idea because do we all remember who owns the Denver Nuggets? Does anyone remember who owns the Denver Nuggets? No.
Isn't it Walmart?
No.
That's Denver Broncos.
Broncos. There we go.
That's the Broncos and the Timberwolves. No, it is Stan Kroenke, the guy who owns the LA Rams and the guy who authorized his general manager to say F them picks. So yeah, Kevin, I think that's not a bad idea at all. All right.
To the Magic. Paulo Banchero, Trae Young.
Hold on.
All right. So you guys are all tuned in to episode number 24 of Stats Over Politics. I'm Shaun Holko alongside Jaevon, Toddy, Kevin Dent, Garry Singh, and our special guest, Mr. Emiliano Lara. So, guys, the guru. He hates me now for and for those of you who are tuned in right now on YouTube, especially, make sure to give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate it as it helps us to continue to grow our channel. And our number one commenter of today, cousin Marcellus, said that he has finally arrived. He made it, and he said that he told us that the Kings were going to get the 3rd seed. He said it. and nobody believed him apparently.
Garry believed you.
Talk that shit.
Kevin probably did.
There you go. There you go. So let's keep it moving, gentlemen. And now let's get to the Western Conferences. We just spent a lot of time just on the play-in, so we're going to have to get to a speed round when we get to that first round. So now let's get to the first play-in game, and that is the 10-seed Oklahoma City Thunder, who everyone thought was going to be tanking for Wemby. Apparently not. They are in the play-in, and they will be playing at the number 9 seed New Orleans Pelicans, who are still without Zion Williamson. So, go ahead, Jaevon. What do you guys say?
Was there a report something about Zion today? There was like, he ain't coming back.
He ain't coming back.
Yeah.
He ain't coming back, dude.
He ain't coming back. Okay. Because there was a report before that saying like, hey, he might be ready for the play-in. If they get to the play-in, Zion might be available. Now all of a sudden it's like, he ain't coming back. He done. Hooper to Hooper.
Yeah, it ain't looking good. And I will say real quickly, you guys may think that I've just been slandering LeBron James nonstop today, but in one of my fantasy basketball leagues, which is a dynasty league, which means that you have to keep 3 players every single year. When I joined this league 2 years ago, my first move was trading Zion Williamson for LeBron James, and that trade has worked out marvelously for me, and I get to talk shit about it every single day. Yeah.
If I'm the Pelicans, I'm doing that trade tomorrow.
Whoa, there it is.
I mean, okay. So now, Emiliano, I want to hear more about that. So this Pelicans team, since they got CJ McCollum, I mean, they're still a solid team. They got CJ, they got Brandon Ingram, Jonas Valanciunas is nothing to sneeze at, even though I could hardly say his name in the first sentence. And anyway, so in this 9-10 matchup, do or die, Emiliano, who are you rocking with?
You know, I lean Pelicans when I first think about it, mostly because of what you just mentioned, right? Just the list of names right at the top of the roster. But there's something about this OKC team. They've got nothing to lose.
Spicy, man.
They've got nothing to lose. They're probably the only team besides the Kings where truly no one thought they'd be here. Beginning of the season, like you said, they were in the hunt for that number 1 pick, right? And now they're here, so why not just go for it? I mean, SGA has fully arrived, right? You have your true superstar of the future. Why not just go for it? You know that you're going to get better next year anyways. There's really no use in losing this game. They have no reason to lose, and so why not just go for it? And from here, I mean, the West is so crazy that you can be optimistic of the future of the playoffs if you go on to win this game. So why not? Why not the Thunder?
I mean, a Brody who used to play in that city, his slogan is "Why not?" So for the Thunder, I mean, why not? Jaevon, where are you leaning in this one? It seems like you like that pick from Emiliano.
Ooh, man, it's the playoffs, man, or play in. My bad, because when JT dropped 50. They didn't count it as a playoff stat. It was just a stat that just fell into a black hole that no one ever cares about.
Only a Celtics fan says that.
But this is the playoffs, man. You got to go with which team has the best player. And the best player right now that's available is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA. I love the way that he's been playing. He's a guy that can get to the free throw line. I think he's at the top of the league of just getting to the free throw. He shoots like 15 free throws a game. That is insane. Like 15 points from the free throw line is easy work on top of another 20 points, 25 points, all twos, because you don't shoot threes. This is a instant bucket here that we're talking about here. And I'm rocking with the OKC Thunder in this game. The Pelicans have recently been losing a lot of very close games. This past game, which I did gamble against them, they did lose. They were up the entire game. Brandon Ingram had like 23 in the first quarter. He had like 23 in the first quarter. He had more points than the Timberwolves in that game 82 game that just went down. And, they just kind of just feel like they just let the game slip away in some weird fashion. And I'm just rocking with the guy that he's the best player on the better team, I think, in my opinion. And if Zion were playing, this would be a totally different conversation, okay? Mm-hmm. But this is Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum. They don't even have Jose Alvarado. I don't think he's playing as well. So he's a guy that, can defend and get into the passing lane. And I think he's going to be missed. But I love OKC in this game. A lot of people are going to be focused in on Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, but watch out for Josh Giddey in this game. This is a guy who, if you like I said, I'm just a guy on here talking, man. Sprinkle that Josh Giddey triple-double for this playing game. You might want to sprinkle that triple-double. We'll get some live numbers to see like what it would be, but I'll let everybody go next. But I love OKC in this game.
Ooh, I love these picks so far. Kevin, where are we rocking with this one?
You know, you got to go to Oklahoma City Thunder. We all talked about SGA and his arrival. You know, we all saw it last year. He was just progressing, and for OKC to have another superstar, it's only right that they go in and win this first game, coming in averaging 31, 6, and 5. And like Toddy mentioned, no one, when you think the Thunder, everyone just thinks SGA, but Josh Giddey averaging 17, 8 boards, and 7 assists.
That's almost a damn triple-double.
I'm saying, man, he's coming in there and he's doing what it needs to be done. And then we can't not talk about Jalen Williams, you know, rookie of the year dark horse if you ask the right person. Luke Dort, they've both been coming in there and playing their role. And they have an average age of 22.8 on this team. So unless Zion Williamson's coming through that tunnel, I'm taking the Thunder.
He ain't coming through. He ain't no Michael Jordan at halftime. I'm coming in. Give me the secret stuff. It ain't happening.
Well, the Oklahoma City Thunder and Sam Presti are definitely building something special with that very young team. Garry, so far it's unanimous. Are you going to break that?
Yes, sir, I am. I'm going to be taking the Pelicans. I'm going to take the Pelicans, guys. You guys really hyped up on this OKC team. That I think it's going to get blown out by 15. I'm not going to lie. I think they're going to get blown out in this game. I think the Pelicans have been kind of playing with their food all year, to be honest with you. I feel like they're a good team even without Zion. Obviously, Zion will put them in the championship contention, really, because at the beginning of the year, you've seen him when he was playing. They were flirting with the top 2 seeds. And to be honest with you, Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum will probably be the 2 best players on the floor. And yes, I know SGA is on the floor as well. And that's not disrespect to the young guy. He is a great talent, and he probably will end up having a better career than both of those players. But I don't think you guys remember this. They were in the playoffs last year, and people had a tough time. I'm forgetting the first round match they had. They had the Suns, I think, the first round, if I can remember correctly. Is that right? Okay, that's fallen out one time. Let's put that on the tally board. But I'm just trying to say, I just feel like Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum are going to take it home, because when they start dicing things up in the fourth quarter and taking ISOs and switches and pick and rolls and things of that nature, and we just start getting the shots they want, that's when the Pelicans, I feel like, are going to be hitting all cylinders. I think they're going to just mid-range these guys to death, and I think they're going to finish it up. Simple as that. I think they're going to win this game, and I think they're going to end up playing. They're going to move on to this game. Simple.
Garry, I knew that you were going to rock with the Pelicans, and because Garry is our devil's advocate, but he also made extremely good points there, and for that reason, I'm rocking with the Pelicans as well. Because, I mean, CJ McCollum, been there, done that. Not to the play-in, but to the playoffs. Oh, he has actually been in the play-in, though, with this same New Orleans team last year. And I honestly, I just feel a lot better about this Pelicans team at home. I mean, if we just pull up, I had to rip it off, but if we just pull up the note sheet of all of the hot takes that I got right here, Emiliano, from the podcast, one of the ones on the second one on here from Jaevon says Pelicans will finish number 1 in the West. That was on episode number 5, December 13th.
I mean, hey, if and you know, no disrespect to the guy whatsoever, but if Zion has a dietitian and somebody watching him work out, they probably are the number 1 seed.
I don't know if I would go that far, but it's a great point. And the reason why I brought that quote up wasn't to throw shade, I promise, but it's because we saw just 4 months ago, we saw this. It did it to him again. He just fell out. And I thought he was talking to me at first, like, oh, don't do me like that, Shaun. No, but anyways, the reason why Jaevon said that is because we saw the talent, we saw the promise in this team. Like, yeah, they are missing Zion Williamson, but for me, I still think that they have enough to get by this young OKC Thunder team in a winner-take-all game. Looks like he is still with us, and so for the sake of time, nope, just kidding. Anyways, for the sake of time, that's how I will leave it. But I'm rocking with New Orleans as well, Garry. Now let's move on here on episode number 24 of Stats Over Politics. I can't tell if Jaevon is there or not. There he is. Are you with us?
Hiccups, man. Got the hiccups.
You got the hiccups. All right. Well,
I had because I gamble. Okay, said it like 10 times already. Josh Giddey.
Yeah, we're gonna start keeping a tally of how many times he mentions that he gambles.
Josh Giddey for a triple double. Where'd the odds go? I just saw it. Wow. It was like plus 1,100. Something insane. Please watch out for that. If you want to just sprinkle like $10 on it, you might make some money. Just
$10. Win 110. $10, win 110.
Bet money on TJ McCollum being leading scorer in this game if you want to bet some money.
Oh, that's a horrible bet.
No, I'm taking. If I'm taking a Pelican, I'm taking Brandon Ingram.
Yeah,
we can all right, guys.
He might not even
the best.
SGA have 40.
I don't know if Emiliano knows. I think I got the best record in the predictions right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think I got including football and basketball.
I will say that Garry doesn't have too many moldy takes that have gotten pretty bad. Like, does he have one, Kevin?
You know, I've been waiting. I've been waiting for this day. You know, there was a while back. You know, we're gonna talk about them later, but I'm gonna throw it in here so we're talking about the records. Emiliano, the other three guys around me all said the Nets were gonna be done for. Threw them in the trash and said they weren't gonna do anything. I said they're gonna make the playoffs. Gary, you might have said play in, but you were still wrong. I'm the one who believes. So if we're talking about moldy takes, Gary, you got to take that one.
I said play in. These guys I think said out totally. I said Kings in 3. I said Kings in 3rd seed. Sean pulled it out last week.
We're gonna win out. They won out.
Okay, well, there you go.
We had a woman.
They lost to the Eagles. Come on now,
well, thank you, Garry, for reminding us. I appreciate it. So I have the notepad right here for a reason. It says it right here. Will the Nets? This is from February 27th, episode 17. Will the Nets make? I was the one who said that they would be out. I was the only one who said that they would be out. I was wrong.
Oh, you said Toddy said play in?
I said play in.
Toddy and Garry both said play in. Yeah. Kevin said playoffs. So Kevin was right.
Kevin was right.
Garry and Jaevon, they were around there.
Wrong.
I was wrong.
World, Shaun.
Yeah. I mean, it's true. It's true. I mean, Kevin, it is lonely at the top, right? All right. So now let's keep it moving here, and now let's get to the other play-in game on the Western Conference side, and
Lakers.
I mean, yeah, exactly. I was just about to say
game.
Exactly, right, Emiliano? Lakers warm-up game. So, just so you know, Emiliano, we have a listener named Wes, who is one of Kevin's best friends. And Wes is a diehard Minnesota fan, and therefore he is stuck with this team. That is the Timberwolves. That's the best way I can say it. He's stuck with this team. And so he was saying earlier, let's get to the T-Wolves. All right, Wes, it's time to get to the T-Wolves. As the T-Wolves yesterday, after Rudy Gobert, who they traded all the booty for, now he is suspended for the most important game of the year. And if you haven't seen it, it was because yesterday in their last regular season game of the season, Rudy Gobert decided to punch Kyle Anderson in a timeout. He had said days prior that Kyle Anderson's leadership style did not bother him. It did not bug him. But apparently, as Jaevon, I mean, he was doing so great. We went like 45 minutes without him falling out once. But anyways, apparently everything is going bad in Minnesota. And Wes has a comment for our special guest. He says, "Warm up, relax." What's your response, Emiliano?
I mean, I think that this is, the way that the Lakers were able to, physically, mentally get prepared for the bubble and take that time off and have that time to kind of get reset. It's a little reminiscent of what's happened this year. Kind of stopped taking them seriously a little bit. We almost started to think about, wow, is LeBron going to miss the playoffs? Is
0 dark 30?
Some of the talking heads start saying, all right, is this the beginning of the decline, of not just LeBron, but is this the end of his, time with the Lakers? And here we are. I mean, defensively, offensively, you watch LeBron play, and if he wasn't in a Laker jersey, he was still in a Cavs jersey, I'd have a hard time telling what year it was. This guy he's still a top 5 player in our league. He's the best player on any court on any given night, and the Minnesota Timberwolves, unfortunately, just don't have the firepower to put up a fight against this team offensively with how the Lakers have been playing defensively lately. I do, if I was a teammate of Rudy Gobert, I would kind of want a dog like that on my team. I want someone who's getting that mad, about how we're playing, about how things are going. And so I think that is just the cherry on top of, the Minnesota Timberwolves running into the Lakers at, I think, the peak of their powers for this season.
I mean, slow-mo Kyle Anderson did go to the Greg Popovich School of Hard Knocks, so I wasn't surprised at all that he was sick of Rudy Gobert's BS. And so, Emiliano, we're going to start with you because I think you just made it obvious where you're leaning in this game, but tell us why you're going to go with the Lakers.
Yeah, I think the Lakers, and shout out to your viewer. I'll double down on it just because of his comment. I think this is the safest pick of the entire playoffs.
Hey.
Wow. I like
whatever the spread is, Jaevon, Lakers.
Ooh. Emiliano
Triple
just said
down.
hammer the Lakers. Okay. Kevin, I mean, that's your boy. Get your boy. Tell him why the Timberwolves are going to get bounced.
If this was 2 days ago when Jaden McDaniels still had a healthy right hand and Rudy Gobert was still on the team, it can go down. I wouldn't be opposed to choosing them, but without Jaden McDaniels and Rudy Gobert, Jaden McDaniels is their best wing defender, arguably first team all defensive wing. So to miss that is going to be huge for them. And like Emiliano mentioned, the Lakers were able to retool, bringing in Jared Vanderbilt, Michael Beasley, and D'Angelo Russell, his second stint as a Laker. Since the trade deadline, they're 17-9, which is the best team in the West. Mm-hmm. And they've also had the best defense since the trade deadline. So with all that being said, I'm going to have to go with the Lakers here. Wesley, I'm sorry.
Okay, Gary. I mean,
Lakers.
You are our Devils at. Oh, okay.
Lakers.
Keep it moving.
Keep
all right.
moving. Lakers.
All right.
I don't even got to talk about this one. Lakers.
I appreciate it. For the sake of time, I appreciate that. Jaevon?
Well, I've said it many times, guys. We gamble here.
This is his opener for each answer.
Every segment.
I loved the spread was 6.5. That was yesterday, right when they announced it. Rudy Gobert. This is before Jaden McDaniels broke his hand, punched in the wall, or whatever. That was 6.5. Now the line is non-existent. I don't know what it is now, just because everything that's kind of taken in place. Before all of that, I had Minnesota 6.5. I love Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is a guy who is a star in this league. If you guys watched the last game that they just played against the Pelicans, he single-handedly pretty much brought them back. Cat had a lot to do with that because he had like 3 threes in a row. But Anthony Edwards was damn near the reason. The defense that he was putting on Brandon Ingram being able to cause turnovers on ball was special. I think the Lakers win this game. The last time Anthony Davis played against Karl Anthony Towns, what does Shaq always say, Kev? Barbecue chicken. Gave him 38 and like 15. So the reason why they brought Rudy Gobert to the team is he could play defense on an Anthony Davis, on a Joel Embiid, because he's been defensive player of the year. How many times, Shaun? 3 times. 3 times. Yeah, so sure now Karl Anthony Towns has to be the guy that instead of playing power forward, it's kind of like what his natural fit to. Oh,
damn.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm sorry, Jaevon. We're moving on.
It's gonna be a close one. It's gonna be a close one.
I think it'll be a better game than a lot of people think it will be, but I'm going with the Lakers as well. I would love to be a troll.
They still got 2 superstars, and they still got Mike Conley, so I would still not be thinking this is a lockdown. I know
Mike Conley.
Yes,
from the Ohio State University.
Yeah, Mike Conley, who is a professional point guard in this league for about 10, 15 plus years. That Mike Conley, who can hit a clutch 3 when it's time. That Mike Conley, who gives the ball to Anthony Edwards and Cat when it's time to need it. So I feel like I'm not trying to always say that it was when I said Lakers so quick, it's just because I believe in LeBron and then we're going to get it done. And I think it's going to be a close one because I don't think I haven't seen Lakers really blow anyone out this year, really. Like, other than some horrible teams, maybe at the end. Other than that, they play close games. LeBron always plays close games, I'm not going to lie. Makes it more fun for everyone and the viewers. But just because those players like Gobert, which is not really a factor on offense, so okay. And obviously, you're missing 2 defensive guys. But the offensive guys are still going to be there, so I feel like it's still going to be a close one. So, yeah.
Well, Gary, you just convinced me to change my pick. I'm going with the Minnesota Timberwolves because Anthony Edwards is going to go stupid. Let's not forget about my guy, Mike
30.
Conley, like you mentioned. In the battle of the Ohio State point guards between Conley and D'Angelo Russell, I think Conley will win that matchup. And, I mean, to be honest, we saw it this year. Like, the numbers don't lie. Stats over politics. The Minnesota Timberwolves were a better team without Rudy Gobert this year. They have like a 600 winning percentage without him and a 400 winning percentage with him. They are a losing team with Rudy Gobert. They are a winning team without him. I'm going to pick the Timberwolves. I'm being the devil's advocate, but Gary, you really just convinced me otherwise, genuinely. I'm picking the Timberwolves because I think Anthony Edwards, I mean, he loves shooting in Sacramento. He probably loves shooting the ball at Staples Center, now known as Crypto as well. I'm going to go with the Timberwolves in this one. Let's get weird. I'm going with the Timberwolves.
Sean's going to go first next time. Gary keeps changing his picks. we have Sean's go original. We got to hear Sean go first.
I mean, I'm down. All right, so now let's get to the hypothetical matchup then, which would be the Western Conference number 8 seed play-in game. In my hypothetical matchup, I would have the New Orleans Pelicans versus the Los Angeles Lakers. In that one, I'm going to go with the Lakers in that one because I don't feel confident in the Pelicans beating LeBron James after he just got upset by the Minnesota Timberwolves. So I'm going to go with the Lakers in my hypothetical matchup. I mean, what can I say, Wes?
Hallelujah.
Somebody got to. Hey, Kevin, I didn't even see that comment, so I appreciate you bringing it up. Thank you.
Gotta show love.
I appreciate it. I mean, Wes, somebody had to. Someone had to see the light. But anyways, in my hypothetical 8 seed matchup of the Pelicans and the Lakers, I'm gonna go with the Lakers. So Emiliano, in your hypothetical matchup, you would have the Thunder playing it at the Timberwolves in Minnesota. That's an interesting matchup. Tell us who you're going with in it.
They get cold like Minnesota.
I feel bad going against your viewer here who's commenting and involved, which I know you appreciate, but
he's in the show at this point.
This is a lot closer. This is a lot closer. I think I think if Rudy Gobert is back, if they're fully healthy and Rudy Gobert is back, then this game is a lot closer, and I might lean Timberwolves. Because I honestly couldn't tell you who on the OKC Thunder could defend Karl Anthony Towns and who is going to be able to go up against Rudy Gobert. I know I haven't watched enough basketball, but I could not tell you who is going to guard Karl Anthony Towns.
All the bigs are hurt.
So in that case, I might go with the Timberwolves. But I don't know. The OKC Thunder is just that team. They're just that team. Like I said, they have nothing to lose. And I think that's dangerous in a one and done game. When you have nothing to lose and you shouldn't even be here, when you have that mentality that the world's against you, I think that's a dangerous thing to have. And that might just let them go. So if you're making me pick, I'm picking the Thunder.
Ooh, I like it. All right. Emiliano has the 10 seed Thunder getting to the playoffs. And that's the whole reason why this play-in tournament was invented. So, Gary, where are you going here?
Just FYI, OKC is 4-6 in the last 10 games, guys. Just let you guys know. Anyways,
stats over politics.
My question is obviously the Timberwolves versus the Pelicans. I'm going to be taking the Timberwolves, even though I really kind of don't want them just because of all the shit show that happened yesterday, to be honest with you. I really believed in this team before this, to make some real noise, especially if they're matching versus Denver, which is like a great matchup for them, height-wise and everything like that, which Jokic wouldn't be able to kill him too much because Rudy Gobert will be there. So I feel like that was going to be the matchup. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to stick with Ant-Man. Like Vaughn said, that guy is a killer. All he wants to do is kill it in the fourth quarter. I heard it from his mouth myself. So I can't wait to see him in this game right here and trying to get in the playoffs. Simple. I feel like they're going to a team that makes the playoffs. I feel like they're going to beat the Pelicans, who are going to have a OKC and the Pelicans are kind of the same situation, which if they're full strength, I think it'll be a different story. But since they're not full strength, and I know obviously that can be said about the Timberwolves, but I'm talking about the best players on the teams here. And Ant-Man and Cat are both going to be there, so I think they're going to be able to beat that team, and they're going to be the 8th seed.
All right. So, Kevin, your matchup would be the Oklahoma City Thunder going to Minnesota to play Wes's Timberwolves. So who you going with?
Are we talking with Rudy?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I was gonna. I mean, when Garry mentioned like if Rudy Gobert came back, my ears kind of went up, even though they're covered by these headphones. My ears kind of went up like a dog because it was like, is he even gonna be back though? Like, why would they bring him back? Be like everything
Because
that I
they wanna
mentioned
win?
earlier.
He just do one punch to stop being a pussy.
They-
Sorry, I don't use that
Hey.
type of language on here, but straight up. he just punched someone-
Gary's mom is gonna be so mad. Uncle Manny, don't tell her.
But simple though, like he should be back. They spent one game, but probably just for the look of it because it got caught on video. I bet you if he was behind the scenes, they probably would just handle it behind closed doors. So I feel like he's gonna have to be back. They paid that man. Shaun, what did they say? They sold. What did you say earlier? They sold everything. They sold their life.
Gave up
to him.
all the booty. Yep.
Exactly.
All
So he's gonna have to be back, man. You can't be literally all season come to the main moment and you ain't gonna play. I feel like if this was their only chance, they would even play him versus the Lakers, but they don't want to look too bad now and disrespect, their team by, So I feel like out of respect, they're just doing it. Out of respect for Kyle Anderson, they're really giving this game realistically. But if Ant-Man might have punched him, I don't think they'd be even suspending him here. You know what I'm saying? So
Hell no.
yeah, exactly.
How dare you?
Exactly. If
You
I
know who
would
this
have
is? It's the franchise. Get the fuck out of here.
Exactly. So that's why I think that I think that he should be back. And if they do 2 games, then damn, they wasted the whole season right there.
Well, to your point, I do think that it's either the one game or the rest of the season. Like there's no either or. Like either it's the one game and he comes back for the do or die game in that hypothetical scenario, or he's done for the rest of the year. There is no in between. So, Kevin, to answer your question, let's go with yes, the hypothetical that Rudy Gobert is playing in that game. And you got the Thunder at the Timberwolves.
So I don't know if you guys have seen the news lately, but Chet Holmgren has went from out to hopeful.
When?
He has.
He has
Yeah, it was
man.
this last couple days. Like legit. It's true.
Last
it's
4 or 5 days, bro. So I think if they win one, hey man, we play with house money.
Chet might play tomorrow.
Hey, nah, they gotta win one. They say, hey man, you gotta make sure this is worth it. We gotta get our toes wet first. But man, they win. We get a free 7. Oh shit, Rudy got to go out there and guard. We get a free 7, man. I'm taking the Thunder, but being logical, I gotta go with the T-Wolves, man. But I think the Thunder will surprise them, and if they're able to bring in Chet Holmgren and have someone to battle that length and that height with the tall towers that Minnesota has, but without that, they don't have a shot. So I'm gonna go with the Timberwolves.
All right, Jaevon, close us out. You got the same matchup. You have OKC against Minnesota. Just in about a minute or less, tell us who you're going with.
It get cold like Minnesota. Cold like Minnesota. Hey man, Rudy coming back he coming back. They gave him his little game. Like, hey man, we don't want the league to kind of step in and say you're gonna get 5 games. We'll just suspend. We gotta suspend you here. We're gonna send you home for the day. You can't be doing shit. You can't be punching all slow-mo. Can't do that. Point blank period. So he'll miss the first game. He'll come back. I think Shea will still. Hey man, you guys breaking news for me today. I did not see that Chet Holmgren was gonna be able to somehow give me 15 minutes. Give me 20 minutes. It's the play-in, goddammit. No,
Kev, he should not be going.
I think Ant-Man is just. I think he's gonna go crazy in the play-in. He's been in the playoffs before. So this would be winner go home for him. And I think he just rises to the occasion. Cat coming back, he's been playing pretty well. They'd have somewhat semi-full team. Probably Jay McDaniels probably out for the year, but I think they would have the better team. They wouldn't have an answer for Cat, just because they don't have any bigs. So I'm rolling with Minnesota in that game.
You muted.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And
no one else
missed.
said something. I was like, damn, is my shit messed up?
Yeah.
No, it was me because I was typing and then
I thought I was getting kicked out again.
Nah, it was me. I was typing and I didn't want everyone to hear. Yeah, everyone. Hey, right? Yeah. Welcome to Stats Over Politics, the amateur show, apparently. But yeah. Anyways, guys, now let's get to the actual playoffs, and let's just start things off. I mean, we see Emiliano's beautiful background. We gotta start it off. He's showing off the jersey. He got C-Web rocking the web.
That was Jason Williams. That's tough.
Right there. That's on his body right now.
Now let's get to the the I-80 series apparently, and that is the 6 seed Warriors versus the 3 seed Sacramento Kings. Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw that. Marcellus did say Kings in 5. Marcellus, his cousin, who is in our YouTube comments. But
crazy.
Garry hit us with the Snoop Dogg. Who? Anyways, so now let's get to this series first, because this is the most important series. At least, is that me? Do I have a video playing in the background? I'm just gonna close all tabs. I don't know if that was me, but it's the amateur show apparently. Anyways, guys, so the Sacramento Kings have finally broken their playoff drought, and they get rewarded with a matchup against the defending champions, who just so happen to be a dynasty and happen to be the dynasty of this era. And it's looking a little rough for the Sacramento Kings. Last week I was saying that, Garry, we had that clip that Kevin put out on our social media where we were both saying, like, the Kings are a top 4 seed. We expect teams with home court advantage to win their series. Well, we shall see if the Kings end up getting this one. But we're going to start things off with our guest, Emiliano. And just for full discretion for our audio-only listeners, even though we did just describe his attire, Emiliano is a Kings fan, like the rest of us, except for Jaevon. And so we just want to preface it that we are all Kings fans as well. So Emiliano, I don't know if you're going to go as far like Marcellus to say Kings in 5,
Great.
but where are you leaning for this series?
I think, to start, I think worst case scenario is we go to a game 7, because in a game 7, I think the Golden State Warriors,
worst case.
I think in a game 7, the Golden State Warriors just bring it. Steph shows up, Clay shows up. I think that team takes us in a game 7. But I'll be honest with you guys. In my little notes here, I have a layout of how the Kings make it to the finals.
Hell yeah!
And I'm serious. I'm serious because
cut the show.
Offensively, we can compete with anybody, maybe besides the Warriors. I actually think our biggest fears were realized in facing the Warriors in the first round, right? Hey, everyone wanted the Kings, right? That's what people were saying, but I think our biggest fears were realized, and we were facing the Warriors, like Shaun said, the dynasty, the Steph show in the regular season. So we'll see if.
What was your record in the regular season?
What was that?
You see here, you said regular season.
I think the Steph show in the regular season.
I want to say we were 2-1.
Well, no, there was 4 games. Yeah, I think it was 2-2. Yeah, because remember there was that game at the beginning of the year at Golden State where Kevin Huerter got fouled on that game tying 3.
He got hit on his elbow. Yeah.
It was 2-2. So go ahead, Emiliano, give us the roadmap.
When we get through the Warriors, the rest of the playoffs have to play out.
Damn right when we do.
It really has to play out just right for us. It's only fitting that we make it through this and we play the Lakers in the next round, and then we're just fueled by 16 years of pain and suffering and curses. I'm also a Red Sox fan for baseball fans out there, and so I know a thing or two about curses. And the way you kill a curse,
y'all went 1-3 against the Warriors this year.
The way you kill a curse is to destroy its creator, and I want to see the Lakers. I want us to beat the Lakers, and then from there we're playing with house money. From round 2, we're playing with house money. But I'm serious. I really do think we could beat the Warriors, and then from there it's maybe the Suns. I'm truly afraid of the Suns. I'm truly afraid of Kevin Durant. But I'm not kidding when I say I have the map for them getting to the finals. But I'll let you guys take it. I'm sure there's some interesting on their way.
Okay, so Emiliano, what was I know that you mentioned that you would be fearful of a game 7 against the Warriors. So does that mean Kings in 6?
Kings in 6.
All right, there you go.
They went in Chase Center. Wow.
Okay.
I like
that. Kevin, we're gonna circle around with all the Kings fans before we get to the only unbiased person on this panel, which is Jaevon. But Kevin, I want to know. Okay, Kevin, I want to know where are you going with this series?
So everyone's saying the Warriors this, the Warriors that. Everyone wanted the Kings. Like Emiliano mentioned earlier, be careful what you ask for. Everyone knows the Warriors struggles on the road. They've only won 9 road games. And for those basketball guys, it's half and half. So you get 41 home games and 41 away games. So 9 and whatever the hell that is not good. Their defense ranks at Chase Center is the third best defense in the league, but on the road, 28.
They ain't got home court.
So, and then another big thing that people are forgetting is Andrew Wiggins hasn't played a game in however long. He's been cleared to come back to the practice of the team for weeks. But all the fellow hoopers out there that used to hoop, you know that you have to get game reps. There's nothing like game reps. So you get a lot winded faster. So he hasn't been able to get those game reps. So I think that's going to be huge for them. Earlier in the season, he had an injury, and it took him about 2 to 3 weeks to get back going. And him at his best is the second best player on the Warriors on a championship team. So I feel like that's going to hurt them a lot. They have Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry that they set a trio record for most three-pointers with 779. I just think the Kings got too much going for them, man. We have an offensive rating of 4. And just to give you guys a comparison, the 2015 Warriors had an offensive rating of 6. That just goes to show how good the Kings offensively are. Domas has averaging 22 points, 17 rebounds, and 7 assists against the Warriors. De'Aaron Fox bringing in 26, 8 assists, and 4 rebounds. I think we're just going to be like Emiliano mentioned, we're riding with 16 years, man. So I think it's gonna be hard for the Warriors to win one. And I think the Kings are going to go back in to chase up 2-0, and I got the Kings winning in 6, man.
Oh, I love it. All right. Kevin is also going with the Kings in 6. Since Garry said that he is unbiased, I will now go next because I am very biased. I try to put my bias aside, but it always shines through. Emiliano, I feel like you really made an excellent point about playing an experience, not just a regular experienced playoff team, but like probably the most experienced playoff team that the Kings could possibly play in this entire playoffs. And for that reason, yeah, we should be scared about a potential Game 7 against the Warriors. Mm-hmm. But what gives me hope and what the reason why I'm picking the Kings to win this series in 7 games is because of something that Kevin mentioned earlier, where the Warriors this season have struggled to win on the road. I'm not saying that this series is going to be chalk and that the home team is going to win every single game of this series. Each team might steal a road game. But I feel like this series is going 7 games, and I'm maybe it's my bias, but I am going to side with the Kings, and I think that the Warriors would I think the Warriors would end up crumbling because you're muted. You're muted. But
I wish.
So yeah, I'll just keep it brief. I think I'm gonna go with the Kings to win this series in 7 games. Garry, you are unbiased. Tell us what you think.
Shaun, I am unbiased. I remember. I think this has been about 2 months now. What team have I been asking for?
He said he wanted to play the Warriors. Yeah.
Thanks, Vaughn. Thank you very much for answering
He's
that
unbiased.
question. Well, I've been asking for the Warriors, begging for the Warriors in the playoffs. And I have got my wish. I might a little bit regret it now. I'm not going to lie. But seeing them the other day kind of makes me a little bit regret it. Like, damn, this is about to actually be tougher than I thought. But like I've been saying all year, Shaun, I want the Warriors for the simple fact of the matchup. We match up really great versus the Warriors. We already know Draymond Green's going to probably they're going to go small ball most likely with Draymond or Looney. But I really think the majority of Draymond's going to be at that 5. We're going to go small ball. We're going to shoot them. We're going to have a shootout. And yes, they got the 2 best shooters in NBA history. Simple as that. But we got enough shooters to make a change. I feel like we got Herter. We can go to Herter, TD. Who else you want to go to? We got Monk. I'm forgetting Keegan. We got so many guys who can be able to shoot the ball. And don't forget HB too. HB been having a great year shooting the ball as well. Trae Lyles. We got so many guys who can shoot the ball. I feel like we're going to match up great in the shooting wise against them. We got something that they don't got. We actually got a slasher, which you can catch Curry. He can get, Curry. He can get layups because you can press up on a 3-point line against him. Jordan Poole can get layups too as well because you can press up on the 3-point line. But we got the best fourth quarter scorer in the league in the regular season, yes. And he's gonna have to prove it. And I like what Mike Brown said the other day. He said, will you see fourth quarter Fox? Will you see playoff Fox? And his question is, we'll see. And I'm waiting to see too. Will we see playoff Fox? This is the time Fox to show why he shouldn't have got picked over Lonzo Ball, which I'm glad he didn't because we got him. But like this is the reason why Fox, I feel like it's time to show him why he's a Kentucky blood, why he's the guy. I feel like why he's the best player on our team. Yes, I know Sabonis changed our whole fortunes and things of that nature. But even so, I think Sabonis knows who that guy is on our team, and Sabonis is going to have to really – he's going to have to do something that we haven't seen all year, which is play some defense. We're going to have to do something, guys, and play some defense. And I don't know if we're going to play defense. I don't know if I really trust us playing defense because we haven't really done it all year long other than in spurts. But I think we're going to be – we're a copycat of the Warriors, of what they were a few years ago. Literally. Our coach obviously coached on this team. Exactly. Coached on this team. And literally we run a lot of the same sets they do. We run a lot of the same actions. So it's going to be really who can perfect this more. And obviously the Warriors should have upper hand. But we literally have any team we would have played against, everyone would have said that they have more playoff experience than us. That's why I was like, if we're going to face anybody, I'd rather face the champs, knock the champs off now, and let's do it. I think we got enough. I think we're going to go to Game 7, Shaun, on Golden 1, and we're going to win that Game 7 in Golden 1 Center. And I think it's going to be a hectic one. It's going to be a tough one. And I think we have seen the Warriors before fall and crumble in situations of Game 7 versus LeBron in the finals. And I think we're going to see a similar situation where the shooting's going to go down and we're going to see De'Aaron Fox mid-range into death. And they're not going to know what to do with him. They're going to try to throw Gary Payton on him. And I think he's just not going to know what to do because De'Aaron Fox is going to rise above all and shoot him in his heart. Simple as that. And I'm going to be seeing them talking to him in their face saying all this. But anyways.
Okay, I'm just going to keep it moving. Jaevon, you are the only non-Kings fan on this podcast, and I feel like you are going to break the homerism. And Uncle Manny, he said, I love the Kings. However, if I had to bet on the Warriors, I'd bet on the Warriors in 6, especially if Wiggins is his old self. So Uncle Manny, he disagrees with us. Jaevon, are you going to disagree with us, or are you going to make it unanimous?
Hey, man, this is what you guys waited for. This, like I said, prime time, ABC.
Prime time, baby. Let's go.
5:30. The world is about to see. The world is about to see what the Kings are made of, man. And hey, this is all I gotta say. Do not let Golden State fuck around and steal a home game from y'all. Mm-hmm. If they steal one of them first 2 games from y'all,
they will.
They are going to smell blood in the water. And that is something I fear. And Kings fans, the drought, I get it. 16 years. Okay. The Kings probably will have the best home court advantage in the entire playoffs. If you go in there and silence that Sacramento crowd by winning a game on the road, especially Game 1, this Warrior team it's going to get in every single one of those guys' hands. De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis, everybody said. Mike Brown was just on the freaking roster. He was on the team, coaching the team last year on that championship team. So he knows what it takes. And he knows what all of those guys are capable of. And if this Warriors team goes out and just gets in,
and he gets in a frozen mode, and
he stopped because I wouldn't want to hear all that.
Well, I think it's safe to say while I delay a little bit because right now, Emiliano, this is when Jaevon's refreshing, and here he is back. So, nope, just kidding, he just left. He has to rejoin. So, anyways, it sounded like Jaevon was gonna go with the Warriors there. We'll follow up with him to find out in how many games, but we got to keep things moving as we're running out of time. Spent a lot of time on the play-in. I do think it's important with the play-in coming up, but Jaevon just returned, so let's get his final thoughts. Jaevon, just real quickly, tell us, it sounded like you're going with the Warriors, but tell us in how many games.
I got the Warriors in 6 games.
All right, Jaevon thinks that they close it out on their own home court. Garry, did you have a rebuttal? I think you had something.
I was just going to say real quick, Vaughn, we're going to take those blows. We're going to get slapped in the face. They're going to hit those 10-0 runs. It's going to feel like the whole place is falling down. But if we're who we are, said we are all year, we're gonna have to come back and show
Uncle
who we are.
Manny
Simple
is
as that.
preaching right now. That's all I gotta say, man. He's out there preaching the word. That's Reverend Manny, Reverend Uncle Manny right now. He's out there. All I'm saying is 4-time unanimous MVP is on the other side of the team. This is what we all asked for. Unanimous. He's on
It's
the
what
other
Garry
side.
asked for. It is what Garry asked for. I asked for the Minnesota Timberwolves.
4-time champion. They over there in the weeds waiting around. This is, hey man, it's gonna be. I think the Kings probably win game 1, but I think the Warriors win game 2. And
They try a little brother us, and we're about to big dome real quick.
I mean, but you guys,
David and Goliath is a story for a reason.
They went 1-3 against them this year. This
Preach,
is
Emiliano.
we talked about how the Warriors they won 9 games on the road. Well, one of them 9 games was in Sacramento. Maybe 2 of them games was in Sacramento. So all I'm saying is it's gonna heat up. This is the playoff. This playoff basketball. This ain't nothing.
One thing I was just gonna say, we talked about last week too. I don't know how great of a home court advantage you think this guys is gonna be, guys. It's hard. I told you, any team in California, it's gonna be pretty tough. Like it's usually 95% of the team. Might be 70-30, 80-20. It's hard to say, but those Warrior fans are gonna be a little loud. I know
95-5.
that.
I think game 1. I think Vaughn, to your point, game 1 is everything.
It is.
That game 1. If we go out and lose that game, then it takes the heart out of everything that we've built up and coming into the playoffs.
It's gonna get in their head, man. They all young. They ain't been there.
We're gonna lose a game at home, guys. We're gonna have to go get one.
They can't lose a game at home. That's what they're prying themselves on. This is literally what the Warriors have.
But we're good on the road, Vaughn. We're good on the road.
Everybody's talking about how the Warriors are the worst team, like in the NBA, on the road. If the Warriors win a game on the road, that is not something to play with. That's not something I would want.
Well, a road game for the Warriors in Denver is different than a road game for the Warriors in Sacramento.
Plus, I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
Especially, yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, Mariano. Let's just be honest with you. I think like everyone here, it's because the road record is what it is, Kev, and things of that nature, Shaun. Let's be honest, y'all still scared of the word. You got to have a healthy respect for the champs, man. They got to switch, and it's kind of reminds me of those Lakers, LeBron teams back in the day. They kind of cruise. They cruise obviously a little too much because obviously where they're at, they're in 6th, but still they could have been the play-in. They cruised a little bit too much this year, but I think you got to give the hell. I'm gonna give the hell. I'm not taking too much into the fault of this road record they got. I'm just really thinking that was just a switch they just couldn't flip all year. And I think in the playoffs they all been waiting for this moment. So I'm not gonna take the Warriors lightly. I know that's why I think we're gonna go to Game 7. That's why I think
their flip's been broken, Gary. They are 9-32 on the road. They could even turn the switch on.
Regular switch. Hey, y'all went 1-3 against the Warriors this year. That's all I'm saying. 1-3.
Okay.
That's something to be.
All right, go ahead, Shaun.
That's not nothing.
So what I was gonna say, and I just want to say this real quickly. Jaevon, this isn't Shaun's pop quiz, but out of 41 road games, how many road games do you think the Sacramento Kings won this year?
They won the most in the Western Conference.
Oh, wow. That's actually pretty significant. I'm glad you knew that. The Kings went 25-16 on the road this season. They were better on the road than they were at home. And then, Garry, it hurt my heart to hear you say that. Like, how much of a home court advantage is it going to be? I've been hearing Mike Brown. I have been hearing Mike Brown on doing all these interviews. He did one with Chris Haynes and Mark Stein. He did one with Ariel Helwani. And he was saying, yeah, the atmosphere in Sacramento is great. I love our home crowd. Not as many cowbells as there used to be. Okay, that changes on Saturday because we're all pulling up with our cowbells. You drown out that Dubs chant with cowbells. How do you do it? You ring it in their face. You got a problem with me? Go to San Francisco. This is what happens in Sacramento. And then some of us are going to San Francisco too. I'm coming with my cowbell. The cowbell is the game changer because then, like last week, how I didn't have a voice because I was screaming too much at WrestleMania, I get to protect my voice for the moments that matter because that cowbell is going to be ringing all night long.
By the way,
I can't wait.
By the way, Mom had season tickets to the game. They said, you know what, you get dibs. You get first dibs to the game. So we're going to let you buy these tickets out. Well, how much are these tickets going to be? Yes, we need $3,500 from you. And that's going to be each $35 a piece. These ain't no seats to be playing around with. And by the way, we don't want you to just buy for this round. We want you to buy for the entire. If we make it to the Western
Conference,
you got to buy the whole thing. So these tickets ain't nothing to be playing with. So it's a lot. She sits like in row like C. So She's there. She gets good seats, but
shout out moms.
They're these tickets, they ain't playing no joke, and they're going to sell out. The Kings are going to sell out. This is going to be a sellout crowd. So
it's already happened. Now it's all resale.
Hey, and I think this game 1 is everything for the Sacramento Kings. It's going to be a tone setter for the entire series. They need to win this game. Got to.
It hurts my heart, but I feel like Uncle Manny is out here preaching, as we were saying earlier, as we just showed that YouTube comment. Yeah, where Uncle Manny, he said the Warriors look at the regular season as the preseason. It's about to get real. And
they beat y'all 3-1. This is not nothing. It's not.
It is if they call that foul on Kevin Huerter, and you keep talking about that last game when the Kings the Kings didn't even try. You keep bringing up that game that happened this past Friday?
1-1.
So Vaughn,
it would probably be 2-1 then. If y'all count the last game because they didn't play nobody, or they played. I don't think they played nobody.
They played everybody. We didn't play anyone because we locked it up. Emiliano has a question for you, Jaevon. Go ahead, Emiliano.
Go ahead.
So in the spirit of the team who was a part of the game with the most points ever scored in an NBA game and won that game,
they sure did.
Who else gives the Warriors the hardest challenge in a shootout besides us?
Obviously, not Golden State, it's Sacramento. I mean, it's just you got. I'm
besides
just
us, he said.
Beside you guys, Phoenix
Suns.
Yeah. Okay, so that perfect segue. Thank you very much. Now, okay, real quickly, I will say we're an hour and a half in. We're only going to go for 2 hours, and we have hardly. Yeah. So I love the analysis, but just for the sake of time, we are going to go through a speed round through the rest of these first round series. Then we're each going to give our picks for who's playing in the conference finals, who's playing in the NBA finals, and who wins it all. So we got 30 minutes left here on episode 24 of Stats Over Politics. So let's get right to it with the team that Jaevon said is probably right there next to the Kings in terms of how many points they will score in a game. And that is the Phoenix Suns, who are the 4 seed, and they will be hosting the 5 seed Clippers. The Clippers still without Paul George for who knows how much longer. Good. So real quickly, Jaevon, I'm going to throw it to you first. I just need a pick.
Phoenix in 6.
And how many games? Okay, Jaevon goes with Phoenix in 6.
Actually, give me Phoenix in 5.
Okay, all right. All right, so Jaevon is going to go with the Suns in 5. Emiliano, who are you going with in this series?
Same, no faith in the Clippers whatsoever.
Okay, how many games?
5. Kawhi will take them to at least 1 game just because that's who he is. But Suns in 5.
All right, Kevin.
All right, well, I guess I got to be that guy. I'm going to take the Suns in 6.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be that guy.
Yeah.
Hey, what's that 5, man?
So bold, so bold. I know. I you really got me on a swerve there. Okay, Garry, who you rocking with?
Rocking with my boy Kev, Suns in 6. And I would say just because I'm going to give Kawhi and those wings and Ty Lue at 2 games.
All right. Well, I'm also going with the Suns. I'm not going to get funky, Kevin, even though I'm the last person to pick. I will not be the devil's advocate. I'm going to go to the extreme. I say that the Suns sweep. I think without Paul George, the Clippers just are a shell of what they once were, and it's all going to be on Kawhi. And let's not sleep on the Suns defensively. Let's not sleep on Kevin Durant defensively, because Kevin Durant is one of the most underrated defenders in the NBA.
Undefeated.
Everyone wants to talk about his offensive game. Understandably so. The guy is shooting like 63% on mid-range shots this year, which is just insane.
It's pretty good.
Kevin Durant, he's pretty good. So I'm gonna go with the Suns.
He won't be able to do all 48 though, doing both sides. He ain't like that no more.
KD's
KD, but he ain't like OKC KD, maybe beginning of Warriors KD like that on defense. But go ahead, Shaun.
No, I mean I do think you make a good point, because I mean he has had that Achilles injury.
You got deep now. You don't need to be OKC KD.
That's a fact. So now, guys,
So
now let's shift, because of the play-in and all the hypotheticals, sake of time, we're going to shift to the Eastern Conference now, because we want to get to the concrete matchups that we know that we're going to see. So next, we have the 6 seed Nets, Kevin's Nets, versus the number 3 seed 76ers. Jaevon says
Bridges will average like 35, though. He'll average 35. He'll try his darndest to get a game, but he ain't getting it. But they gonna broomstick him.
All right, Jaevon says that
he might average 40 in the series. I'm not even gonna lie. Bridges might average 40 in the series.
All right, I got to get that on the note sheet. Hold on.
I'm about to say, please.
Yeah, okay. I'll just write Mikal Bridges, and I'll fill in the rest later.
Y'all ain't been seeing what he been doing?
Okay,
yeah, but 40.
All right, I don't
40.
think so. Yeah, I don't think so. Okay, Kevin, you're up next. Who are you going with in this series?
6 and 5. I think the Nets get one.
Wow. He's generous with his Nets. Garry, how about you?
I kind of want to give him 1 too. No, I'm not gonna give him one. Sixers sweep. Nah, Sixers are idiots. They're gonna get one. Let me get.
Why are you flip flopping? Make a damn pick.
Garry. I think if the last 5 years of this process has taught us anything, it's that the Sixers just don't have it all figured out. So Sixers and 6. I think they're going to slip up. They're going to slip. Joel Embiid is going to have a disappearance game. There's going to be an APB out for him at least 1 or 2 games.
Joel Embiid?
Maybe MVP. Sixers and 6.
I had 6 and 5 just FYI, Shaun.
I got you. I had to scribble it out, but I got you, Garry. So Garry got the.
So when the Sixers win the first game by 30 points, is everybody going to pick them in 4 games?
No.
I mean,
Joel Embiid hasn't played a whole playoff run since the bubble.
Okay, well, Kevin, this is the first round, so I'm not worried about this series. I'm picking the Sixers to sweep because.
Thank you, Shaun.
MVP Joel Embiid. Mikal Bridges can do whatever he wants, but it's going to be all for naught. I think. Emiliano, I agree with you about the Sixers and their dysfunction and the process and all of that. Like. One of my good friends, Matthew Pearson, he is a diehard Sixers fan, and I just watch him suffer constantly. And it's because they have all the pieces. They have all the pieces. They just haven't made it materialize. I think against a team like the Nets. I'm sorry, Kevin. I'm going to continue to shade the Nets. I was wrong. Nets fans, I was wrong. You're going to get swept. I'm picking the Sixers to sweep the Nets in this first round. So that takes us to our other concrete matchup, which is on the Eastern Conference side, and that is the 5-seed Knicks against the 4-seed Cavaliers. Emiliano, I'm going to start things off with you this time. Who are you going with in this series?
I think it's the Cavs. I think the Knicks are another couple off seasons away from a true run. I think it's the Cavs. Donovan Mitchell is the guy. Cavs and 6.
Okay, there you go. Donovan Mitchell gets revenge, I guess, against the Knicks for not trading for him. Jaevon, who are you going with in this series?
Hey man, give me Donnie Boy and the Cavs. 5 games. Watch out for Evan Mobley. This might be the Evan Mobley coming out party. A lot of people are pretty high on him as far as like in the media and stuff like that. I think in DG, this is his first. He's getting a taste. These boys are getting a taste of the playoffs, and this is the first time the Cavs have been in the playoffs since LeBron James. So I think Donnie's going to show them the way. Watch out for the Cavs. Might be able to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Watch out for them. Watch out for the Cavs.
Okay, Garry, how about you?
Cavs in 5. Yeah, Cavs in 5. I don't know how many offseasons they gonna need, Emiliano. They're gonna need more than a couple, but they're gonna need a couple more. But I like Jalen Brunson, so I think he's gonna get one. There's nothing to sneeze at with this team. I feel like they're way better than last year, but just the Cavs have too much firepower. But I know Jalen Brunson and Randall can get them one.
Knicks lost all momentum when Julius Randle went down. He's still hurt with that ankle injury, so they were rolling high. If this was a Knicks team that had Julius Randle going into the playoffs, it might be a 7-game series, in my opinion.
Kevin?
And for that reason alone, I'm going to say the Cavs in 5.
All right.
Easy one.
And, I'm going to make it unanimous once again. I also am going to go with the Cavs, but I'm going to side with Emiliano on this one that I think it's going to go 6 games. I do agree with you that Randall injury is extremely significant, but I mean, I've been preaching about Jalen Brunson for a couple years, and
all NBA.
Hey, Jaevon, real quickly, Jaevon. Remember when I told you at the trade deadline that the Mavs could have just re-signed Jalen Brunson instead of giving everything up for Kyrie like they did? And you said that the Mavs were gonna go to the finals, right? Something like that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, should the Mavs have just re-signed Brunson? Have you come to that conclusion yet?
They got my boy Cuban out here showing old text messages. It's looking all bad in Dallas right now. So Cuban talking about, man, hey man, it's not my fault. It's the daddy fault. He told me he wasn't trying to talk to nobody. So now you got Cuban out here. Luka's out here like, damn man, we missed that guy. Well, Luka can go out and say, I miss you. Come back. It's all bad, man. So yeah, I mean, shit. They could have got him for a steal price.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah.
Yep. And so for that reason, of me being such a big believer in Jalen Brunson, even with Julius Randle's hobbled ankle, I'm going to pick the Cavs to win this series in 6 games. I think the Knicks do get a couple of games because I honestly think that this series is going to be a lot better than a lot of people think. Yes, all of us are picking the Cavs, but I really think that this will be a good series, to be honest. And so for the sake of time, also just because we don't have any concrete matchups yet with the 1 and 2 seeds, I'll just ask a general question, and you guys can take it how you please. And I'm gonna start off with you, Emiliano. Will a number 1 or a number 2 seed?
No,
it's not your turn. It's Emiliano's turn. Will a number 1 or 2 seed get upset in the first round? If the answer is yes, who?
No.
I say in the East, it's it's the more top heavy side of the
side.
bracket, right? I say no, not in the East. It's not happening. I think we will see a 1 and 2 seed run all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay, how about on the Western side though?
On the Western side, anything is possible. Like I said, I mean, we could the Warriors are the 6th seed, the Lakers are the 7th seed. Anything is possible in the West. It really is anyone's game. But yeah, in the East, it's pretty top heavy. I'd be surprised not seeing the Bucks and Celtics in the East Conference Finals and going 7 games, but I don't want to give it away.
I apologize, Jaevon. I didn't make it clear that we were talking about both conferences, not just the Eastern Conference. And so it looked like you were pumping the brakes for our audio-only listeners. Jaevon looked like he was taking back his definitive no. So do you think that a 1 or 2 seed gets upset in either conference, Jaevon?
Well, it's definitely not happening in the Eastern Conference. I'll just say that right off the bat, just so that's out there. Memphis, if you guys get matched up with the Lakers, y'all better watch the fuck out, man. You got AD cooking everything in existence. You got LeBron James. And, hey, John said he's good in the West, man. So we're going to have to hold him to that. We're going to have to hold John to that when he go up against Bron and them boys. They got some injuries over there. No Steven Adams and no Brandon Clark. So that's a guy that a lot of people don't really talk about who just re-signed during the regular season. So Ja Morant is going to put up Ja Morant numbers, and I'm not shocked by what that is. But I mean, they got to prove in the playoffs. So we'll see how that goes. The rivalry, I would like to call it. We'll see if Shannon Sharp's courtside at any of these games.
Gary, do you think that a 1 or a 2 seed gets upset in the first round?
Oh, yeah, only one I could really see is like with the one that Vaughn said with the Lakers.
Okay, and that would be against the Grizzlies potentially. Yeah. And Kevin, do you have any other thoughts on this?
I agree with Gary. I think that if it was to be somebody, it would be the Grizzlies losing to the Lakers.
Yeah, I tend to agree with all of you guys. I just kind of put myself in a pickle for that hypothetical because I have the Timberwolves winning. So the Timberwolves would play the Grizzlies. I think the Grizzlies take care of the Timberwolves as they already have in the playoffs. I think it was last year, right?
Yep.
And so I think to answer my own question because of the games that I picked, I say no, but I agree with you guys. If it were to happen, it would be the Lakers upsetting the Grizzlies potentially in that 2-7 seed matchup. All right, guys. Well, we're running out of time here on episode number 24. So it's time to get to the finish line. And it is time to give our picks for who we have playing in
Celtics.
Each conference finals and who we have playing in the NBA finals. So, Gary, I know that you have your predictions ready to go, and let us hear them.
I've been thinking about it all day, guys. I'm not going to lie. I've been really scratching my head. I'm like, I don't know who to pick just because, like, we've been saying the West and the East, man, it's hard to pick who's really going to go. You know what I'm saying? The playoff comes down to so many small things and injuries. Obviously, I'm thinking about if everyone is playing, everyone is going to be full strength. And we're going to go each side real quick and then tell you the winner. I think I'm just going to do, Shaun. I'm going to go with the Western Conference first. I got the Suns versus the Lake Show.
Oh,
I got the Lake Show going to the chip. I got Bron going to another finals. I don't know what else to say, guys. I hope Emiliano's right and we get our revenge versus the Lakers in the second round. If my prediction stands true, we beat the Warriors and then we play them in the second round. But Emiliano, I got LeBron doing LeBron things. One more run, gave him the shooters, gave him AD, gave him everything he needs, the toolbox to get to where he needs to go to. Ask Kev, I believed in this team to make it to this spot. I didn't. Kev said it was done, it's over with. LeBron got Angelotti. I think everyone might have said that. I don't remember clearly, but I got the Lakers going to the chip. Then I got the Bucks versus the Celtics. Vaughn, I really want to pick the Celtics, bro. I really want to pick them. I feel like they're so deep. It's gonna be so hard to beat them. But man, when those three, Middleton, Antetokounmpo, and Drew Holiday are all playing, they're really tough to beat. I got the Bucks going to the chip again. And I got Bron putting that 5-piece on, getting his last ring probably of his whole life. I got the Lakers winning the championship. I need Kev to clip this one right here for me right here. I got the Lakers winning the whole chip when no one believed them. I got the Lakers winning the championship versus Milwaukee Bucks. And yes, LeBron's going to go ahead and beat Curry on the way. He's going to go ahead and beat KD on the way. He's going to go beat Giannis on the way. And he's going to put, with the GOAT debate, whatever you want to say, it's all iffy. This right here is going to be the final stamp on the GOAT debate right here. Year 20, getting Kareem's tie, getting the all-time scoring record. I'll make sure this is clear, it might be on TikTok. All-time scoring record.
He going on
and
TikTok.
It's going to be a Lakers chip. It's going to be a wrap. I hate the Lakers. I'm a LeBron fan, though. I love the Kings, but LeBron's given me way more happiness than the Kings has ever done in my lifetime. So I'm going to rock with the King. He's going to put that crown one more time.
I got to go next.
He said he got to go next.
Kevin, I actually wrote you down next to go next. So you already knew.
I got to go
He
next.
scheduled it. You do it.
Go ahead.
I got to go next. So in the Western Conference Finals, I have Mr. LeBron James against the Phoenix Suns.
Goodness.
Oh
You
my
guys are
God,
boring.
LeBron James is back at it again with a healthy Anthony Davis, with D'Angelo Russell, Michael Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt. I got the Lakers going to the finals.
Oh, Kev on the same
height.
height.
The finals. And on the Eastern side, we got a rematch. Celtics versus the Bucks.
Man.
And I think this is gonna further implode the Bucks because I think the Celtics are gonna do it to them twice in a row.
That's what I'm
And
saying,
not one, not two, not three, not four, but five. LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers.
Bro, the Lakers aren't that good.
Me and Kev woke up on the same hype today, baby. We were on the same hype.
I had to go after him back to back.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, well, Emiliano, welcome
The
to
King
Stats
Show
Over
just picked the
Politics.
Lakers
I
on the
guess
I love it.
apparently
He's like,
apparently
what the
this
hell
just
is going on
apparently this just became a podcast hosted by a bunch of Kings fans to a podcast hosted by a bunch of Lakers fans, for all I can tell.
over here?
Emiliano,
Stats,
I
baby,
love
come
the
on now.
jersey that you're rocking today, C-Web. And so you already told us earlier that
Lakers
you
aren't that damn good.
see a roadmap where the
Yep.
Kings play in the conference finals. So are you sticking with that?
I'll stick with it. I'm not going to pretend like I don't have Kings versus Celtics in the finals here. I do think that this is the Celtics. I do think that this is the Celtics
All
year.
right
You can only be the best team on paper in preseason so many times. Shout out to any Niner fans on the call. And
thanks,
lose when it
thanks.
matters most. So I think this is the Celtics year. So Kings Celtics win in 7. This is finally it. Jason Tatum finally gets his championship. The Kings make it all the way there, and that's it. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
losing
real quick
7.
question: who you got in each conference? Who are the Celtics beating? Who are the Kings beating in your conference?
So I have
championship?
Denver. I have Denver versus the Kings, and then I have Bucks versus Celtics. And I just don't. Yeah, I think Celtics take it.
Okay, so
I wouldn't be mad, man. I wouldn't be. Actually, I would be mad because we lost in the finals. I'd be pretty pissed, but I wouldn't be mad if we get that far. I would not get mad.
Well, because we don't have, as long as we don't have to play the Suns, as long as I don't have to see Kevin Durant put up 50 against us in a playoff series, I'm feeling really confident. But outside of that, we slay the dragon of the Lakers, and then we move on to the Nuggets, and that's it.
Okay. So, Jaevon, just so you know, Emiliano has the Kings versus the Nuggets in the West Finals, the Celtics versus the Bucks in the East Finals, and he has the Celtics beating the Kings in the NBA.
Hey, man, I ain't mad at you.
All right, so
Mr. Celtics fan.
Yeah, come on, Mr. Celtics fan. Tell us who you have in your conference finals matchups in the NBA finals.
Man, we gonna get to it. But I think, is there a way that we can play the Cavs in the West and the East finals?
Keep freezing. Yeah, because they'd have to play the Bucks. They'd have to play the Bucks, so you guys could.
Did you froze again? Oh no, he froze again. I heard him say, why do I keep freezing? This is so irritating. And
no, it doesn't. No, he can't play. That goes by brackets in the playoffs. It's not like football lowest seed. So no, they can't.
Yeah, it would end up being the 1 versus 4, or 2 versus 3, and all that good stuff. Okay, so let me give my picks for this, and I haven't even had it written down, but I know what I'm going with. So I am a believer, just like Emiliano, and I am drinking the Kool-Aid. I think if the Sacramento Kings get past the Golden State Warriors, that they will go to the conference finals. I don't have them going as far as Emiliano does. I don't have them getting to the NBA finals, unfortunately, but I do have the Kings getting to the Western Conference Finals. I think that they get beat by the Suns because Kevin Durant just scares me too much, and I really think that the Suns will be the Kings' kryptonite because just like Emiliano laid out, and like you guys talked about earlier, if the Grizzlies were to get upset by the Lakers, the Kings would hypothetically play the Lakers in the second round. Jaevon, as I told you numerous times, I'm confident in the Kings versus the Lakers in the NBA playoffs. And for that reason, I have the Kings getting to the conference finals, but I have them losing to the Suns. I mean, on the other side, you guys are just going Bucks, Celtics, Bucks, Celtics. It's just going to be chalk the whole time. Jaevon, were you going to go Bucks, Celtics as well? Just so I know.
I was trying to see, is there a way that it would
no.
We look now.
Damn. Because the Cavs was the only team that really could make some shake against us. Damn, yeah.
They're not
who
beating the
Bucks. Who would the Cavs play? We
Bucks.
In the second round?
The Cavs will play the Bucks.
Hold on, wait. So I'm saying, could there be a Celtics Cavs?
No.
It would only be Celtics Bulls. But I mean, if that's not happening.
It's probably going to be Celtics Bucks, to be honest. Just based off how the seeding is.
I wouldn't be surprised though with the 76ers. I know we're not a 76ers believer. Like I'm kind of like Emiliano. Sorry to cut you off, Vaughn. I love James Harden. I hope he shows up. I love Embiid. I hope they prove us wrong. I really do hope they get to the finals. I really hope Joel Embiid has his moment because I feel like he deserves it. But I just want to put respect on the 76ers real quick because I know we're just kind of glossing past them real quick. I just feel like they deserve some respect, but they're going to get beat.
I think Jaevon just froze again.
Well, it's like he knows he's gonna freeze before it freezes.
Frustration.
It's because I think it's because he sees it lagging out on his end before it completely cuts him out from the connection. I still see him. Are you still here? Oh, he's still here. Okay, great. And so, anyways, Garry, why did you have to steal my thunder? Because I wasn't just going to pick the 76ers. Kevin, contrary to your beliefs, I wasn't just going to pick the 76ers because everyone picked the Bucks and Celtics. I genuinely believe that this is the year, as Emiliano and I talked about earlier.
Tucker.
I think this is the year that the 76ers finally put it together enough to at least get to the conference finals. And I have the 76ers playing the Bucks in the conference finals. And I think the Bucks will make it to the NBA finals for a rematch against the Suns like we saw a couple years ago. And I think the Suns are going to end up taking it all. Jaevon, he doesn't agree with me right now. I'm just like Uncle Manny. I got the Bucks and the Suns, and I got the Suns winning it all. But Jaevon, he froze. Wait, no, he didn't. No,
he just didn't move.
I am just kerfuffled by the way that Shaun is forgetting about how the Celtics own the 76ers when it comes to playoff basketball in the past however many years you want to go back. Just go ahead and look at the tape. Run the tape back. We own the Sixers in the playoffs. So I mean, if the Sixers somehow beat, we would be playing the Sixers, I guess, in the second round or third round or however it would go. I think we end up playing the Bucks. We get past the Bucks. I mean, everybody's saying that, oh, Middleton didn't do this, that. Middleton ain't been doing jack shit the entire year. So, I mean, he's going to be out there, but I mean, he's coming off of an ACL injury. Usually a player coming off of an ACL injury is not the same their first year back. Probably next year we'll kind of see him getting a little bit back to form. But I don't see us losing to the Bucks. JT's going to go crazy. JB's going to go crazy. We're getting to the finals. I don't know what's up with Kevin and Garry somehow thinking that LeBron James is the Lakers are getting to the
Put the backpack on, Kev. Put the backpack on.
Hey, like I don't
like you ain't seen it for 15, 20 years.
I don't see it, bro. I don't see it. I have the Suns.
I'm nervous.
Suns are playing. Suns are probably going to be playing the Nuggets. Is that possible? Or
that's possible.
Suns Nuggets. I got Suns Nuggets. Western Conference.
Oh no. Suns are the 4 seed, so that would be a second round matchup.
Yeah.
So they would probably play
the Warriors.
Probably the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Suns, because I have the Kings beating I have the Warriors beating the Kings. So I would go with Suns Warriors Western Conference Finals. I got the Suns advancing. Suns Celtics Finals. Celtics won it all, man. Come on, man. What are we talking about?
All right.
No.
Come on, man.
You're playing in 2K with injuries off if you think the Suns are making it all the way to the Western Conference Finals.
No fatigue. No fatigue off.
Well, Jaevon, I do remember the lengthy playoff history between the
Suns
76ers
got to the finals. Let's not forget that
Celtics.
the Suns didn't just get to the finals like 2 years ago. Let's not forget.
If I wasn't picking the Lakers, I'd be picking the Suns to win it all. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't see how the Lakers make it out of the second round after that. They win the first round, cool, but then after the Lakers are very inconsistent, guys. Let's just get that out of the way.
Well, if they make it all the way to the Suns, they were really consistent.
Okay. I don't see it.
So the thing that I would just ask real quickly as we close things out, and I greatly appreciate our guest Emiliano for joining us today, and just giving us all of his knowledge as well and contributing to our podcast. But before we go, I just wanted to ask of Garry and Kevin and whoever wants to go first here. This podcast is called Stats Over Politics. The Lakers hardly even squeaked into the playoffs, and suddenly
play in.
Or excuse me, you're right. Play in. Yeah, Kevin, go ahead.
Handle the light work.
I'm just wondering.
Politicking, huh? So now I need to tell you the truth. You don't believe me, so now I gotta show you the way.
Tell him.
So like I mentioned, since the trade deadline, the number one team in the Western Conference. So if we were to just start off at 0-0 the trade deadline, the Lakers are the number one seed.
Cool.
They have the number one defense in the NBA. And if we have a healthy Anthony Davis,
LeBron,
me and LeBron, I'm in the bag. I'm right there with him.
See what I said, Emiliano? Laker fans.
Right there with him, man. If we get a healthy Anthony
guys.
Davis, he's the best big in the West.
He is.
Healthy Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me, Shaun, you're not scared of Mr. LeBron James in the playoffs.
Garry said the same thing about Tom Brady. He said Tom Brady was going all the way to the Super Bowl.
Hey, I had a chance.
You said Purdy was too.
I mean, if is a two-letter word.
All right.
If is a two-letter.
Wait,
I'm just gonna.
You're a Laker. You're a Niners fan.
I'm a Patriots fan.
Oh, okay.
And who won the Super Bowl that I chose? Now, come on, now, if we're gonna bring up all those things.
Yeah,
Chiefs.
Wow.
Yeah, but hold on. No, Garry, you want to try and fluff your own feathers. You want to try and fluff your own feathers.
Yeah,
here.
I chose.
Who did you say was going to win the Super Bowl when the playoffs started? Not revisionist history right before the game.
I did.
Are you Chiefs? Are we sure? Are we sure that he didn't say that Tom Brady's going to go out?
No,
with
I said
number
he's
8?
I said he's going to go against the Chiefs, and I said Chiefs and go roll it back. I promise you. I promise you.
I will say that I now rescind my hate
take
towards Garry because it just came back to me. I remember him saying it was going to be a passing of the torch from the baby goat or from the goat to the baby goat.
Exactly.
I was wrong, as I always am, and that's going to do it for another episode of Stats Over Politics. Unless anyone else has anything else.
Winning the finals.
I just want to
go
say
Kings,
thank you.
baby.
Yeah, definitely go Kings. I just want to say thank you guys for having me on. This has been super fun. I haven't podcasted in a while. I think Shaun definitely knows. I used to podcast with a buddy of mine. We used to do basketball podcasts, but
he got the
haven't
juices
podcasted
flowing
in a
today.
while, so definitely. You see my handle there at Reserves Podcast. If you guys want to give me a follow, I'm gonna try to spark something up for the NFL season. But this has been awesome. I really appreciate you guys, and
Future
cheers.
guest.
Yeah,
Anytime.
100%.
Anytime. When the Kings go on and win the finals, I'll come on and drink with you guys.
1,000%
Oh,
party
hell
on
yeah.
Scottsdale Politics party.
Hell yeah. We go ahead, Jaevon. Close us out.
Couple things. So Israel Adesanya, want to give him a shout out. Love you, boy. Shakur Stevenson won his lightweight bout. Be on the lookout for Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney lightweight bout for the Undisputed Lightweight Championship. Be on the lookout for that. If Devin Haney beats Lomachenko, I think in May, that will be the fight to make happen. After this Ryan Garcia super fight with Gervonta Davis, the next super fight I think will be Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney. I think Shakur wins that fight.
All right.
Shout
well,
out
that's going to do it.
Masvidal.
Shout out
Bronny James to
Masvidal.
Duke.
Oh my God.
Bronny James to the Ohio State University. I mean, I don't have control of his mic. All right, episode 24. We're out of here. Catch you all next week. Go Kings!